In a minute.
In a minute. It's hot. It's summer. We're here, and we got plenty to talk about. A lot of good TV shows coming that just came out, especially
Yeah,
one
Hulu's
movie.
kicking ass right now.
Yeah, Hulu. It's really got it right now. Unlike Peacock, never again.
Oof,
But yeah,
man. So,
we thought we
so
talk about like because all the stuff that are coming off of Hulu. Like obviously, I got the King of the Hill reboot here. Has been pretty interesting this whole summer. Uh, I think one of the first things we're gonna talk about is Predator. I think that came out like May. I want to say no. Let me
not
check.
just Predator, Killer of Killers.
Yes.
But
Thank you,
yeah,
man.
what Serge is saying is basically like we came up with this episode idea one because we haven't really done an episode on TV shows in a minute, so we kind of wanted to get
Actually,
into the streaming world a little bit more, and
sure.
like Serge said, there's a lot of good shows coming out on Hulu and lowest hanging fruit for us. So I think this might actually be like a small little series during the summer of different streaming sites, and this one's Hulu. So basically, we just kind of chose our top three ones that we liked, and we're just gonna kind of give like a small little retrospective and review, and
This
then
is
like
more of
do
a
our top
review.
two and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah.
review Predator: Kill of Killers, The Bear season 4, and finally King of the Hill reboot, and our thoughts on that. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited because I initially wanted to talk about King of the Hill, but I mean,
Uh huh.
you brought the idea like, hey, Hulu's been doing really good, so why don't we just add more shows to it? And then we were trying to figure out like things outside of Hulu, like Netflix. I think you said you saw Wednesday, but I still haven't, and
Yeah.
certain things that I still haven't watched, and you watched, and certain things that I watched that you haven't watched. So I mean, this is the three that we pretty much settled, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. All right.
As far as us, I mean, man, I've just started work back again. You know, summer was cool, got a lot of things in, got COVID, it sucked. I'm just getting better now, but because of that, I'm kind of taking one for the team. You know, we noticed also that a lot of craft beer companies are starting to come out with non-alcoholic versions of their beers, as well as different varieties and different flavors of non-alcoholic beers. So I think for the next couple episodes, for the next 3 months, whatever episodes come in there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be trying to incorporate more of the non-alcoholic beers. Even though some real craft beer drinkers out there are probably like, "What the hell? He's not drinking alcoholic beer." But you know what? When you talk about craft beer, you have it encompasses everything. You know,
It
so
really does.
that includes non-alcoholic beers, especially when you're looking at the different varieties and the ones that I've been looking at. There's certain breweries that are specifically coming out with just non-alcoholic
Mm-hmm.
beers. So it's an interesting time right now, to say the least, for craft beer, where people are kind of leaning away from going the really high ABV route and kind of going with the basically less than 0.05%
Yeah.
of alcohol per container per whatever you want to drink. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got a couple today, and yeah, we're gonna try them out. What about you, man? How's your summer been?
It's been good. Been working a couple shows, bartending, and yeah, I just did Vans Warped Tour, and then I did like Hard Summer. Yeah, it was like back to well, it wasn't back to back, but it was like the following weekend after the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool. It's been a minute since I did it, and then like going to Vans Warped Tour. That was pretty awesome. It was their 30th anniversary, so it started since like '95, and a lot of bands have come in and come out. Sublime being the highlight. What I believe it was like they were there in the first Warped Tour, and then for the 30th, they came out with the Sun, and
The
yeah,
resurgence.
dude, yeah, it was a resurgence. It was wonderful. He almost wasn't. He almost like didn't come because his cat apparently died. So
Ah,
yeah, so it was just like, oh man, that sucks. But I
the
mean,
show must go on, my
the
dog.
show must
Sorry
go
about the
on.
cat, but
Yeah.
if it was like a grandma or like a relative, I could see that, But for it to be like the cat dog, nah, the show must go on, bro. And
Yeah, I
you
get
know,
it. I get the
um,
sentiment, but like you're playing with your dad's best friends, and
Well,
there's
not
this whole
just
thing
that,
going
is
on.
everyone's there
So
to
the
see
love's
you.
there.
Everyone's there to see you, you know?
Yeah, the love's there.
Everyone's there to see you, and everyone expects a show, and everyone expects you to kick ass. And I think I did talk about this in one of the episodes past, and I saw that his son was coming out and trying to like do the resurgence of Sublime, but he's really from like an alternative kind of like um,
Hmm.
alternative type of music, maybe more like emo-ish kind of.
Emoish, yeah,
Um,
that sounds right.
yeah, so that's kind of the world he comes from, but now he's kind of like bending his agenda to kind of fit the formalities of Sublime, and
Hmm.
it's taken him a while, but I feel like now he actually is there doing it strong. All the little notes and influations in his voice and intonation. I mean, in his voice is just like Bradley, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I heard him play Ensenada live, which is one of their new songs on K Rock, and I was like, dude, is this a recording of Bradley? This is crazy. So I
right.
mean, yeah, I'm so glad you got to see him perform, bro, because that's
Yeah,
definitely a once in a lifetime kind of
it
environment for
was.
sure.
And especially being in Long Beach, and then I try to meet up with my cousins. They're also from Long Beach, so I
Yeah,
wished like I could have been with them, but
yeah.
apparently we're all separated and stuff. But it was fun. Hard
You were
Summer
serving
was,
the beers, right?
huh? Yeah.
You were
Okay,
serving the
so
beers there.
here's the thing. I was only like I was only serving like cans, like anything that was in the can, basically.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't doing any like any
Draft.
cocktails. I wasn't doing any
Okay.
cocktails or anything like that. And they had me at the VIP. I was like upstairs. So I just basically, like, oh, like they wanted like Modelo, or they wanted like something like non-alcoholic that was in the can, or water. We sold a lot of liquid deaths. I would just like open it and just give it to them and be like, okay, that's cool.
Cool. Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
easy peasy. And yeah,
What about hard? Hard
hard.
summer.
Oof. I mean, hard is not my it's not my scene, but I music's music, and if I'm working and music's in blaring in the background, like I'll automatically just like be in a good mood because I'm like, you know, I I want
You
to
got a
chime in
live
into
performance in front
a
of you.
certain rhythm and shit like that, and then the people
Right,
there,
right.
like, it got a little weird, um, because
Everyone's tweaked out.
they've been moving around here and there, and then like having it in like SoFi is like, oh, you're having it in LA, like the chances are that you're gonna get those people that are gonna sneak in and fucking jump over like bunch of fences just to get to the festival. You know what I mean? And I
Hey, the
was just
free
like,
show, the free show.
it's a free show, but you're probably gonna get caught, and I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's not your problem, luckily. Well, what
for
did you
sure.
serve there? Did you serve alcohol?
There, I serve liquor, and yeah,
Okay.
I serve liquor and then beer and all that. So it was back to business, if anything, which I didn't mind, if anything. Every
Yeah.
year they do like a souvenir of some type. Like last year was like some Capri Sun type of pouch that we fill it up with one of our special cocktails,
Cocktails. That's
and
cool.
we had to explain that to people, and it was cool. And then this year we had like a big gulp type of like
That's
cup,
funny.
and yeah, it was cool. I messed up with one of the drinks, and then I had to like Frankenstein the drink, and then the guy said like, "Hey, it's good, dude." Like, all right, and I was kind of like beating myself over because sometimes it's a little hard to hear, or I misheard certain things, so I mix up like one type of margarita over the other, and I was just like, oh, so I just like put a little bit of both, I guess.
Hey, you just came
Yeah,
up with a new flavor.
I
The
know.
Sergio Margarita. There it
Sergio
is.
margaritas, but yeah,
Well, speaking of drinks, you know what we get into. This is Golden Craft Cast. We mix craft beer and entertainment. And
entertainment.
we got some lineup for you. So, Serge, what you got?
So we got the Stone Pilsner. So this came out. I drank this during the 4th of July because I mean, why not? Very
All
patriotic and
American.
very American Pilsner. Of course, if you know what Pilsners are, they rooted down to like to a German style of making beer. I believe that's the origin of it. And I just thought about this because Hank Hill is very American and stuff like that. And then again, like with this new reboot, we have like Bobby all grown up, and he has like this. sushi spot that's like very Japanese German fusion type of style of cooking, or however you want to say that. But
It's like Japanese fusion with like.
yeah, it was just like German style and also like a little bit of American style because he does use propane. And yeah, I just thought about this. It's like, yeah, you're fusing like uh, cultural matters of making things. So yeah. But yeah, I got you a beer.
Yeah, I drank it last night, and I still have some left over, but I got some non-alcs that I'm gonna drink
Yeah,
today.
okay. So you're
Today
gonna
I
stick to
have,
non-alcoholic.
yeah, for
Okay,
the
for sure.
episodes.
I'll
But this one is, what's up?
sorry. No, um I have a non-alcoholic too, but uh I'm gonna take it out
For
in
sure.
second beer. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this is my first right here. It's called Trail Pass, and
I try
it's
that
by
one.
one of the breweries that we've drank before, Sierra Nevada.
Hmm.
Non-alcoholic golden. What do you know? Uh, and it contains less than zero point 0.5 alcohol by volume. Um, that's all it really has on it. Like this brew, scan to share your honest take and co-create future non-alcoholic brews with us. Hey, maybe we should take advantage of that. They can name one after us. That'd be pretty sweet.
We call it the Peggy
Who
Hill.
knows? The Peggy Hill,
The
that'd be good.
Peggy Hill.
Yeah, so I noticed on these non-alcs, they're starting to do this little tiny black label that says NA in a can. And I guess that's going to be the mark for you to know
Yeah.
what's what. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pour this in a glass.
Yeah. When I was doing the shows, like NAs has become its own category. So good for everyone.
Let's give him a crack.
All right. Well, I cracked mine already, but I put this in a glass. It's very golden. Obviously, what it's
Oh, yeah, we're
expected
getting
as a
that.
pilsner. Just very golden, very light looking.
Going to do a heavy handed pour.
Smells
Stop the
great.
bloating. 2025, stop the bloating. I was going to say 2015 for some reason. Cheers
Yeah,
to the
my
craft,
glass.
mate.
Cheers. Ding.
Hmm,
Very sippable.
not bad.
Refreshing.
Mm.
How's yours?
What do you got? Oh, okay.
Good.
To be honest with you, I got it like probably 10 minutes ago. It's a relatively hot day
Yeah.
with the PC in the office and everything like that. So it warmed up a little bit. And let me tell you, temperature makes a big difference with non-alcs.
Hmm.
I noticed that, and I learned that the hard way because I went to US Open during the summer too, and they had an 805 so non-alcoholic 805, and it was a little bit warm, and it tasted of ass. It was really bad, and today when I was looking at my selections, I saw that 805 and I just remembered that, and I was like, I'm not gonna do that one.
Flashback. It's like
So
no.
this is kind of getting to that like warm state. Hopefully, I'm done with it before it gets too warm, but
For sure. Mine is refreshing.
clean, crisp, refreshing, very good. I mean, obviously very light because there's no alcohol and it doesn't have a bite, but you get that refreshing hit of the lips on the for a beer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're out there having a summer day, I feel like if you got caught in public with a non-alcoholic, they'll take it easy on you. You know?
Yeah. As long as you're holding a can. Like honestly, a lot of people, um, they get like liquid death because it looks like a beer, even though it's like water, and then no
That's
one will give you
that's
shit.
marketing right there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and it tastes good because it's in the can and it's refreshing.
Well, it gives you that that the carbonation, and this definitely has carbonation. And it had a little bit of a head, but I noticed now there's barely anything now.
Yeah.
There's like very
I
little, and that
was
might be having to do with the temperature. But
Yeah, I will say with non-alcoholic as well, they tend to be have a little bit more sugar than the counterparts, only to make up
uh,
for the lack of
huh?
alcohol.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, it does taste a little bit sweeter than you would normally have for
Hmm.
like a regular beer, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes I like look up like certain non-alcoholics that have sugar, and I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
The smell
I'll
of
do
it
better for
is
sure.
like it smells like celery, bro.
That does
It
not
smells
sound
like
appealing.
celery. It's not. It's not an
You're
appealing
not
smell, but
selling it for me or anyone.
when you take, I mean, but I'm giving an honest review here, you
Yeah.
know. I ain't trying to sell nothing, but you know, but when you drink it, it's good. I'll say that much.
Okay, sure. If that makes sense, if anything. But yeah, refreshing. Um, Mine is yeah, very. I want to say like it's like Modelo. There's a little bit of a bite to it, a little bit bitter, but
Hmm.
you know it's a summer beer. I will tell you that much. And during the Fourth of July, I drank like three of these before I went to the Fourth of July gathering that I went to my family with, and then drank probably like eight more over there.
Oh, and just because I know there's gonna be listeners and viewers out there
Sci-Fi.
that are probably like, man, why didn't they get their hands on the Alamo beer from King of the Hill?
Oh yeah,
And we did,
unfortunately,
we did try,
we did
okay,
try.
but it was only available during when they did Comic Con, and they had a Megalo Mart set up, and they were
Mm.
having it. They
There
had
was a
it there,
pop up, yeah,
and then now they have it at a specific like grab and go store in Texas.
yeah. It's
So
only
those are the
like
only
available in
places
Texas, from
and
what
it's
I
only
know.
limited one per customer. You can't order it or anything. So, but they are planning to do a larger distribution. So once that comes out, trust us, we're gonna get our hands on it.
Yeah, when it comes,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So overall, well, I mean, we'll do a little bit of a review later on, but so far, I guess we got something similar each. Refreshing, crisp pilsners. This is a golden. Golden usually refers to a lager, I believe.
Really.
Yeah, like a gold. Oh well, it says golden pilsner when I look it up on Google, but
Oh, is it a golden
yeah,
pilsner?
golden pilsner.
Oh
Yeah,
shoot.
yeah,
Okay,
it's a
I didn't
golden
realize that.
pilsner. Yeah.
Shit.
So it looks a lot lighter. When I put a light under it, you could kind of see it's really light.
Oh, it looks like golden piss.
It looks darker. You're not selling it, Serge. You're not selling it.
I'm not trying to sell it. That's not my beer.
Yeah.
This
It.
is a real beer.
Yeah. That's a real beer.
All right, man. You get into it.
This is a good one. Yeah. So let's do it. Killer of Killers, man. Um. I wanted to do this one because it is really cool. I thought initially it was a short series of different episodes, but it's a full length feature, animated feature that has like four different segments of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it spans across time. You get three different characters from different eras of war, and each of those characters uses their culture and their influence of the weapons and their training to overcome, the killer of killers.
Yeah, which is the
Which,
Predator,
yeah,
the iconic Predator that's first debuted in Predator 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
it's
honestly, it's been like this franchise has been kind of like up and down, and then now I feel like it's getting its feet where they're telling very interesting stories. Because uh, before this was like Prey, opposite of what Predator would be, and that took on like Native Americans and them having to fight the predators, and that was interesting because it's like with what this film does, it's like it shows different cultures and shows like getting into the lore of that shit, and it's this one you get to see like more of that, and then also you
yeah,
get like a cameo from that character from Prey as well if you really pay attention. Well, I mean,
yeah. Towards the
you
you get a
get it
cameo from
towards the end. Yeah,
almost all
sorry,
of the
we're
movies
spoiling.
before. Yeah, if you haven't watched it by now, I mean,
It's
well,
your fault.
it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because you don't know when they're gonna pop up technically. But yeah, you do kind
Sure.
of see them. Yeah, I mean, it's all part of the same series. So you always, obviously, the main character, the main person that you see in every single movie is Predator. But I feel like in this one, they gave each Predator their own kind of uniqueness in a way. They
Yeah,
weren't all just generic.
yeah. The god damn, what is that race called? the Utah, I want to say, or Utah. I'll look it up right now. But it seems like they have like different like they always have like a different weapon. Like each movie, they have like a what would you call it? It's like a um, what do you call it when you have like your like it's in Call of Duty. Like you have everything set up.
You
You
have
have
your
like
loadout.
that's what it is. So it
Everybody
seems like
has
they
their
have
different
like different,
loadout.
yeah, they have like different loadouts or different like styles of weapons that, and it's like very inside with the culture. I think that might be on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
So so yeah, no, it has to do with the culture definitely, but I'm looking at some information about it and Luis Ozawa as Kenji and Kyosho. So that's one of them. The very first instance of it is actually Vikings. So that's pretty dope.
yeah, that was
So it's
really interesting.
basically like the three different eras are like Vikings, ninjas, and samurais, and then you have World War I, right?
Yeah,
Or was that World War II? That was
it was
World
World War
War One or
Two.
two.
Yeah, it was two.
Yeah,
It was two
yeah. They have.
because he was trying to speak Japanese,
Uh
and
huh.
then
Oh yeah, that's
he was
right. That's
trying
a
to
good
speak
tell right there.
Japanese to the samurai, and then he was like, "What?"
Yeah, Second World War.
Yeah,
So, but each of the characters has their own little traits, their own loadouts, and their own skills as well.
yeah,
They're good at using their environment. They're good at thinking on the spot. And I mean, if you're looking for something to add to the lore of Predator, I really think you should check out Killer of Killers, even though it's animated. I also feel because it's animated, they're able to get away with a lot more violence
yeah.
and like gore and just crazy shit.
Just like the visuals itself. Like there's certain things that live action cameras can't do that animation is able to like maneuver and stuff like that. But overall, like what was interesting about this film was that this was like produced, basically generated by using Unreal Engine, and this is the first time they ever use that in a full length animation film. So that in itself is kind of like, oh, like they used to use that for video games, and now they're just using this for like um, full length animation that they
Yeah.
could do any style or any style that fits the story of that movie. And
And
honestly,
it's cool because go ahead.
yeah, and honestly, just to add one more thing, like the director, he's also the director from Prey. Dan, I can't pronounce his last name, and he said he wanted these stories to be like in animation, because again, like there's more that he could get away with animation, and then he also was influenced by uh, Akira, the
Dan
the anime.
Trachtenberg.
Trachtenberg, yes. And
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, he wanted to use like animation, like basically it was influenced by the animation of like Akira, the anime, and also Arcane, which is a new animation that's just came out based on the video
Right.
game. So you kind of do see that style of Arcane, even
Yeah.
so much so that some of the lead animators had actually like helped out on this project to make to emulate that style of animation, which I thought it was pretty incredible that something that's with all this influence going on, and this new way of making animation, like that's being led by like one of by like really key animators are working on right now, and then continuing on that tradition of animation with the different styles that it can utilize and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it really opens the doors to horror fans being comfortable with watching these characters as animations.
Hmm.
Now, once you open that door, I'm talking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, uh, Freddy versus Freddy Krueger, Jason. I mean, you could just open the door and let loose with all kinds of crazy, violent shit on, an animation
Yeah.
you would not be able to do. It would cost a lot more, one, and you'd have to get through a bunch of red tape to probably pull it off.
Yeah,
and
a
with
lot of
animation it's a lot
practicality.
more
Yeah,
lenient, you know.
yeah. No, that's true, especially with horror, because horror is just like very practical. And I mean, not that it's a bad thing, there's like horror shows like Chucky that there's some kills that are so fucking gnarly that you could tell it's pretty practical, and it's like, oh damn, that's still cool to watch. But you're not really asking like, oh damn, how time consuming was that to having them to set up like the
Plan it out.
prosthetics and then add in the CGI to add a little bit more effect to it and shit like that. But with animation, it's just like um, a lot to consider and a lot of placement and be like, okay, most important is like, where is the camera going to be placed? That's the thing. What do the viewers want to? What do we want the viewers to see? And then with animation, it's just like you have things set up, and then you have a virtual camera, and you just place it right there, and it's like, okay, that's one shot. That's one shot set up, and then another shot set up, and when it comes to like live action, that takes a lot of time, like a lot of time,
Yeah,
just to get
it
things
takes
set
a
up.
lot of time, and I mean, not to say this didn't take a lot of time,
No,
because
it
you could
didn't.
tell they really did want to perfect it, but it's just the turnaround is quicker, man. The turnaround is way
Yeah,
quicker, especially when you're using a program like Unreal Engine and you're using it right. You have animators, you have people that are creating environments, and when you put those two together, it just, I mean, obviously it's magic, man. You're compositing all this stuff to look like it's 2D when actually in reality all these assets are 3D. So when you're looking at the spaceship, when you're looking at stuff, there's actually a 3D model for that. That's somewhere in their files, but the way it renders out, it's 2D, which is awesome. I think that this is a good entrance way to making stuff like this also video games. Because now you're mixing these two different kinds of elements, and it's already on Unreal Engine. Might
yeah,
as well
big time.
go the full length and create some kind of video game or something else that you could do
Yeah,
within it. I really think that's probably the future of where things are going to go, because when you get into something, you not only just want to watch it, you want to like live it now, you want to be
you
in
want to
it.
be immersed in
you
it.
know you want to be immersed in it, and we're getting closer and closer to achieving that. And I feel like Unreal Engine and different engines like this that are providing entertainment with a 2D 3D landscape, it just mixes so well. And before it looked kind of weird, but now it's like people are really starting to tweak it just right, so it
Yeah,
looks good.
yeah, they're getting a hang of it. We weren't like in the early days of 3D animation. It was just all wonky and very like uncanny valley. You know.
I mean, we did an episode on Jurassic Park, and those were the first iterations of CGI that to this time holds up.
Mm.
Um, and even Benjamin Button, I feel like holds up.
Yeah, it
It's
definitely
just the time
does.
that it takes to do it, and they did it right. And but yeah, if you want to check out more of the Predator, definitely check out Killer of Killers. I think I want to talk about, what do you think, the top
The
two?
top two moments. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, what do you got?
Um, hmm. I really that first story with the Vikings. I really like
Yeah,
because I that really got to see not the limitations, but the limitless like imagination that animation could carry. And then my first scene is that fight when they were in inside that hall or inside that whatever it was. It was their enemy's territory basically.
yeah.
And when the predator came in, of course it's like invincible and it's huge too. So it was really cool to see. I mean, it sucked, but them getting shred to pieces. And I don't know, it was awesome because like you see it like you see kills like in live action, right? And then with this
Yeah.
one, it's just like very stylistic and very like, oh shit, like that was fucking brutal. You kind of like feel that shit. And that whole fight between her, the main lady, and I guess it was the mother.
Epic.
Yeah, it was like what you would have thought. Like it's epic. It was like God of War against like the Predator.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just very like no bars hold. And it was just very tense. And it was just like killer against killer, and it's just like, damn, you're rooting for the human because, you get this little short stories between them, and they're in the middle of something,
Yeah.
in the middle of a war, middle of like, um,
Their own
their own
personal,
personal journeys with the mother having to be the leader of her own like pack, and also like on her way of like avenging her late husband or grandfather, I believe, along with her son. So there's a story that's going on right there, and then when the predator chimes in, it's just like it's an interruption. It's just like, and that just adds like a different element. That's just like, I don't know, just
the element of surprise.
element of surprise, and just like, fuck, like,
The element of just what the hell is going on
yeah,
is
and they
just
didn't
like
know what
so
was going
random.
on. Yeah, and every
But that's the
every movie
thing.
is that. Every movie is like
Once
that. Yeah,
but that's the thing, no matter what language you speak, no matter what planet you're from, everybody understands violence. You
that's true.
fucking, you know what I'm
I don't
saying?
know
So
why he
like
did that. I'm
violence,
like, that's true. Violence.
violence gets across very,
Yeah,
no matter what language you speak, it's
it's
just
weird
it
because
goes,
it's like violence is like the lowest form of communication. That's when like you're not agreeing on whoever the opposition is. That it would just be like, oh, if I can't understand you, I'll just destroy you. Or like with the predator's intention, like, oh, like this is just prey to me. Like they seem like, you know, they're capable warriors, so I'm gonna fuck with them, and
yeah.
they're gonna fuck back.
Yeah, they're gonna fuck back. That's a good one right there. No, but no, seriously, like I mean, obviously it's
Yeah,
like you want to get down? Okay, we get down. That's just plain and
yeah,
simple. That's how it goes.
exactly.
Literally for every single story, that's how it goes. And that's what's cool about it because it just throws you into the action. It's very short snippets about what the character's going through and whatever, but then it's like immediately like every story is basically like a long fight scene, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And they were able to do it. They pulled it off. They did it right, and it didn't feel like it was lacking story either.
no.
Because it kind of combines all three of them at the very end. But what's moment specifically from the fight would you say?
Mm, damn, I liked. Well, I did mention like when the predator first shows up, and then he starts fucking everyone up like right there. But like more
Oh
specifically,
yeah, that's a good one.
towards the end, where she was fighting
Yeah.
them like in underwater, that was cool.
That's what I was gonna say for my
Okay,
scene.
go
So
ahead.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely one of my scenes. So this predator has some kind of sonar blaster that he puts around his arm. So it just like shoots pulses of like energy at whatever he wants, and
yeah,
it can blow through walls. It can like disrupt stuff. And what happened towards the end was, they tell you as a warrior, if you have to choose between your sword and your shield, which one do you take? Your shield. You gotta take your shield. So she, at one point, she's down to a shield, underwater, and there's spikes underground. There's different kinds of like corals and stuff underground. That's at the very bottom of the ocean. They're towards the bottom of the ocean, and he goes to blast her, and you see the thing charging up, and he blasts her, and then what she does is she hides behind her shield, and because she's in the water and a shield, like it propels him backwards to the point where it actually makes like a sharp object, a sharp spear, go through the back of his head and shoot out of his mouth, and you just see that bull underwater,
yeah.
like
It
all
pushes
dead,
him.
and that
It
shit was
pushes him
awesome.
back and pulls her out of the water in that
It
sense.
pushes her out of the water, yeah. So it's
Yeah. So
it,
there
it
was
wasn't
tension
the it
there.
wasn't what he was expecting,
Yeah.
definitely not what the predator was expecting at all, but he got right there. That was a good move on her part.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, so what about your second moment?
Second moment, mm, I would say when they were like it's towards the end when they were escaping. Um, because you really get to see all like the three of them like
Work together.
work together, and they can't speak the same language, but they understand that this is like a
We
matter
need
of
to survive.
survival. So
Yeah.
once they did do work with each other, it's interesting because you got the kid who's a pilot, and he's trying to figure out like how to freaking pilot around the predator ship and shit like that, and then you have the
Yeah.
other two just like having to like help like fend off from the ship, and it's cool that the Viking, she does her part, and eventually she tries to sacrifice herself in that sense, and it was cool the way that she just like slid through those chains and was able to like you know rescue the guy, and the samurai guy, he basically gets his like arm chopped off and shit like that, and I was like, oh damn, like you really see the
Kenji.
stakes, you really see the stakes up there, and that's basically the ending where they escape from the predators planet,
Their
and that,
planet, yeah.
yeah, and that
Which
basic.
I don't think we've ever seen before.
No, I don't think we have. Like as far as I know, I mean, I think there's comics out there that go into the lore of the predator,
Uh-huh.
but that's another thing. But as far as like movies, like no, we've been in different alien planets, but never like in the predator planet, which is kind of interesting now that you kind of see it. Like there is like that tribalism that's like so
Right.
similar to like tribe all the tribes that are like of Earth, throughout time and space. And yeah, it was interesting, because tribalism definitely is I guess it's fair to say it's a theme in this film, because you really get to see
Well, it's
like
like part
everyone's
of their
capability.
culture is, to go out and be the killer of killers,
Yeah,
to
to
prove
prove
themselves.
yourself. Yeah,
Um, so you say your second scene is the Japan one, or no? You said when they're escaping, right?
yeah, that's the escape
When
one.
they're
Yeah,
escaping. Okay.
yeah, I like that.
I gotta say, man, my second one is probably, dude. That was a lot of cool moments in this shit,
Yeah,
but probably in the last story with World War II with Torres. That's the name of the kid.
yeah,
That's the aviator pilot, and the reason why is because the predator in this one is using his ship to kill other, killers, people in the war,
yeah,
people in planes. So he's flying around in a plane and he notices that there's something up there. There's a ship that's invisible and it's taking down a bunch of different of his comrades. So he fixes up a plane, gets up in the sky, and is literally at one point hanging off of the wing of his own plane, like trying to fix it, put out a fire or
yeah.
something like that. And it was just epic. But there was a moment um, where the predator's flying around and you see him taking out individuals left and right.
Hmm.
But what he has is this type of like rocket that propels a grappling hook. So he shoots it, it goes through the back of the plane, and you're seeing this from the front of the pilot, so it's like you're looking straight onto the pilot.
Hmm.
Shoots it, goes through the back of the plane, goes through the dude. You just see blood all over the window, and then you just see like a grappling hook come out, and then the rocket shoots it in the other direction, so it
It
pulls
was
whatever it
such a
grabs
gnarly.
onto.
Yeah,
So it just pulls the plane and him out of the plane and just tears the plane apart.
yeah.
And it was just like, holy shit. And then you see like pieces of him fly by Torres while he's fixing the plane, like it rolls off of it. I'm like, what the that shit was crazy. Like
PTSD
you
to its
wouldn't see
core.
that. You would not see that in a live action. You know what I'm saying? So that was
I
specific
mean, you
to it
could,
being an
but not as
animation.
yeah.
I don't think they'd be able to pull it off like that though, dude, because it was like blood splatter. There was a lot of gore, man,
Yeah, they
and I
would have
like that.
CGI'd it, and that would have like, depending how good it was, it would have like stood out. But with animation,
Yeah,
nothing stands out because everything's just in the same plane. I'd
yeah.
say.
But I mean, that violence definitely did stand out from the
Yeah,
rest of what was going on, though.
yeah. I would say that definitely physicality played a big role on that because everything was just like in the air, and then you had to think about like how would this be like in the middle of the air while it's moving, and it's just like,
Right.
oh, dude, like. But yeah, you're right. Like it wasn't. I think it was the first time we ever seen the Predator actually use his ship as a weapon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I liked about. That's what I appreciated the most. You're seeing the firsts of the Predator using his different stuff, using his different equipment, using other weapons that we've never seen them use. Because we know the civilization is advanced enough that they have multiple weapons and multiple, gadgets and stuff that they use. But this one was like, okay, like they really did go dive deep and try to create something or pull it out of the comics or something like that. And it was dope, man. I really liked it. The weapon that he used in the first one was like a giant. It was like a spear that spread out, like
Yeah.
when you pressed a certain button. So that, you could just imagine what that was like.
Damn,
You
that's
know,
that thing was scary. And then he was also
that thing
trying to
was awesome.
he was trying to fuck with it too. He didn't know what it was, but he wanted to figure out what it was and how he can use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is fucking cool.
So
Yeah.
that's the kind of guy that Torres was. I liked it, and it's shout out to Mexican Americans, bro, that
Yeah.
were in the war and stuff like that. I really
Exactly.
like the beginning of that specific story too, because it's kind of his dad leaving him on his own, like, hey, you're on your own, buddy. And then the next scene you see him in the war.
Um Not to put any shit on that or, but to me I was like, "Oh, that's sweet." But like realistically, I was like, "Damn, his dad is being nice to him?" Like that doesn't
Yeah,
seem realistic.
not very Mexican.
Not very Mexican.
I
I was like, maybe he's a sensitive guy. I don't know. There's different types of
don't know.
Mexicans.
There's good Mexican
There's
dads,
some good
but I
Mexicans,
just
yeah,
feel
bro.
like the machismo and Mexican culture for sons and their dads is definitely a precedence,
Big precedents.
to say the least.
To say the same.
Cool, man. So yeah, Killer of Killers, man. Definitely check that one out. That's a good watch, and if you're breaking it down, you could break it down into segments if you wanted to. That's what I did when I watched it. I watched like the first story, and then I saw it was going into a second story. Had to go run some errands, whatever. Came back, picked right
I think I
off,
did
and,
the
and
same
it,
thing
it was
too.
seamless.
Yeah, I think I did
It
the
was
same thing
seamless for
too.
me.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely for those busy people out there, you know who you are. So you
Yeah,
could
I would
you could
say
chop it
this.
up into segments.
Yeah, I would say this is a good one because it's an anthology, so you could just like pause at the end of one story. It just make it seem like like this is what I like about it too is like very episodic. So you get to decide like, okay, I seen this, and then I'll come back to it, and by the end of it, it just combines all the stories and be like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, like you're all caught up by the end, if anything. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely an interesting watch. Uh, really goes into the Predator lore, and like there's gonna be way more Predator movies. The new one's coming up. Of course, we already have like Aliens Earth on Hulu, so it's all part of the same universe, and I don't know how it's all gonna connect together, but it's very exciting. So yeah, it's been a good one.
it's been awesome, man. I can't wait to watch. I just started watching Alien Earth too, so
Yeah, I
can't
just
wait to
watched it
finish
right.
that.
I was just
It's gotten really good
finished.
reviews,
Yeah, I
and
just
this
finished the first
did get
episode.
really good reviews as well, I believe.
Which one?
Let me see. It got a 7.5 on IMDb,
Yeah, it's fair.
but I really enjoyed it. I liked it.
All right, we're
All
back.
right, we're coming back in. Had a change of heart.
Sure.
Gonna join you on the Pilsner.
I'm doing the opposite. So I got a
Uh,
non-alcoholic.
just a little one.
Yeah.
It's a
So
4.7, man. It's just under 5. I really don't think it's that heavy,
it's
but
not
when you
heavy.
drink it, it gives you kind of, it's
DVTs.
heavier than a normal Pilsner, I feel like.
Yeah, it is
Like
bitter,
a little bit
heavier.
more of a bite than a Modelo, I would say,
Yeah,
for
that's what
mine.
I said.
What are you sipping on?
So I got Athletic Brewing. This is the
Okay.
Rattler.
Ooh,
It's interesting. I drank this. I bought a pack last week, and yeah, it's very interesting. Athletic is one of the breweries that actually does non-alcoholic beers. So that's
specifically.
yeah, specifically exclusively. And they're just coming up with like different flavors and shit like that. This one I like. It's like um, it's lemony, obviously,
It's
and it
like a
just
lemon.
feels
It's a
like
lemon shandy
no lemon
or Raddler.
rattler, lemon
Rattler.
rattler.
Okay.
I thought I said lemon
I wonder
raider.
what. I wonder what's the difference. Let me see right now.
Yeah, but it's definitely. I feel like it's a little bit more sweeter than most beers, and again, like non-alcoholics tend to have a little bit more sugar to make up the lack of alcohol. Um, There it is. Damn, it looks a whole lot lighter like on camera, but it does look a little bit hefty in person.
Okay. I got a little breakdown right here from Google AI. It says shandy often features a pale ale or lager base mixed with lemonade or lemon lime soda. That's what a shandy is. The term shandy is believed
Sandy.
to originate from the older term shandy gaff, which is a mixture of beer and ginger ale. Radler, typically made with light lager or Hell's beer and a citrus based mixer like grapefruit juice, orange soda, or even lemonade.
Hmm.
The term Raddler means cyclist in German as it was popularized by cyclists looking for a refreshing, lower alcoholic drink.
Interesting. It's a great name for it, if anything.
But I
Oh,
mean,
sorry.
okay. So shandy is specifically lemon. That's what I'm learning. A shandy is lemonade or lemon lime soda. Set those types of citrus, and then Radler is grapefruit juice, orange juice, lemon, and you know, blood orange,
Blood orange. Interesting.
like Cali Squeeze,
Scally
right?
squeeze. I was just thinking that.
I
Uh,
love that one. That's such a good one.
yeah. I
That's
had
one of my
that.
favorites.
Yeah, I had Cali squeeze on the events that I went to. No,
Put
not a
my
lot of
put my
people.
buddy.
Yeah, not a lot of
Not a lot
people
of
bought
people
it.
drink it,
No.
dude. It's good.
Yeah.
Especially for a festival. That's perfect for a festival,
Yeah.
man.
There was only a
Gets you
few.
just right on the buzz.
It was
And
Yeah, it was only a few, only because like a few people that got it, only because it was like blood orange, and
yeah,
certain people like specific taste, so that really sold it, if anything. But
people need to grow up.
yeah,
But I feel like you could probably call it close to a shock top. It just doesn't look like it, you know.
yeah, sure,
But it's lighter than a shock top for sure.
yeah.
But I put my buddy Dave on it. Shout out to Dave Tab, and he loves it, man. He loves it. He orders it every time. They have it in a nice cold 22 glass out at the bar at HB. There's a bar
Which
when you
bar?
walk down Main Street. You walk down and then you make a left,
Left on
and
what?
right like okay, so like when you're on Main Street you go
Right,
towards the boardwalk and you walk down the stairs to like the bicycle
right.
lane, and then you go to the left and there's like a beach bar that's like separated by glass and stuff like that.
Oh, down a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
nice.
right there, I forget what, I think it's called like Mel's or something like that, but you just go in there and ask for a Cali squeeze. They'll set you up with a nice 22 ouncer.
Yeah.
It's an option to get a 22 ounce, but they
Really.
give you an orange in it. It's nice, man.
Oh,
It's really,
damn.
really good.
You know what? I gotta try it now.
Perfect beach beer.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
though I'm not like super on blood orange, uh, I'm willing to taste it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to what you're drinking now.
Hmm.
Have you sipped it yet?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I already tried it
Yeah.
before.
What do you think?
The smell of it is very like a lime juice. It's sort of like a lime juice soda. Like when you smell it, it's just like okay, it smells like not Sprite,
Lime.
but more
7 Up.
like Fanta, I would
Oh,
say.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you drink it, it's just like you get the hints of like lemon, and it's
Uh
like
huh.
very citrusy, very like carbonated. So it's just like it feels like a soda, but it's not quite a soda. So
Right.
it's just like a nice option to have, especially if you like things that are more on that sweeter side. So it's like
Well, I
okay,
mean, I think
refreshing.
even for, pool day, kind of, you don't want to stand out, you don't want to get too turned, whatever. And this is just one of those beers you could just pour into a cup. No one's going to question you, bro.
Nope.
No one's going to question you at all. So, that's what I mean, but for me, like, I legitimately just like the taste of beers. And well, you know how we are. We've tried over, I don't know. I'm gonna have Chat GPT do it, but we've tried a lot of fucking beers by now,
We did.
and in a way we're
Sorry.
almost running out of
Yeah.
them because like we'll go in there and we'll try to find something that we haven't drank yet, and you know it's something we've tried before, but these non-alcs are giving it like a different vibe
It
for
feels
sure.
like a whole new world with the non-alcoholics.
Yeah, it really is, and especially with these different breweries that are specifically making non-alcoholic beers, it seems like it's gonna get bigger in a way.
Yeah, it is definitely. Because the demand for it is definitely there, because there's people that are sober, but they
Yeah.
like to taste the beer, so they get the option of getting to buy like non-alcoholic beers, and I kind of hate this, but like a lot of events and places like that don't sell non-alcoholic beers, even though they should. And I think like it would be fair for everyone to like have that option. And I'm pretty sure like those beers will sell more than the NAs that we have like on stock, if anything, because a lot of the non-alcoholics like nobody has ever heard of it, or nobody's like too interested in it. But I think I had like one guy that was asking like, "Oh, is there non-alcoholics?" And he's like, "No, I'm sorry." And then we got to
Yeah.
talking, and we're all just like, "Oh, what's your favorite?" He's all like, "I like the Guinness, I like Heineken and stuff like that." And it's just like, yeah, like again, there's definitely a market for it. It's just like um, they just need to be more open
Honestly,
towards that.
in a weird way, I feel like non-alcoholics are for real craft beer drinkers because
Okay.
like you know now that you know your percentage, you know how your ABV is going to affect you.
Right.
And if you want to have a full day of like driving around doing whatever you want to do, having the freedom that you have, obviously going to a brewery, and you're not there to just get smashed, but it could happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is a cool way to like kind of pace yourself in between having
That's true.
crucial
Yeah.
beers. You know?
Yeah. Like if you feel like you need to take a break, just
Yeah.
keep drinking beer, but not alcoholic beer. It's just like, okay,
Yeah,
kick this in, and then
but that was right. It was never really an option before. Like the only non-alcoholic beer that we had was like, what was that? What was that one that's like the it's like O'Neill's or something like that.
oatmeals. Oatmeals. The one with the baby
O'Neill or
fills.
something like that.
Wait, what? Was it a mead? What are you talking about?
It's no, it's a non-alcoholic beer. It was called like O'Neill's or some shit like that.
O'Neill's? No, I never
What
heard
is
of
it
it.
called?
I don't know, Manny. Did they just barely advertise this? Is this a new thing?
O'Doul's, bro. O'Doul's.
Wow, way off.
It's something
Oh, it's
Irish
something
or
with O. It's O something.
it was an O something. Oh no, who
Oh
knows?
no. Oh yes.
O'Doul's is what it
Oh
is.
dudes.
But O'Doul's was the only real selection of non-alcoholic beers. Now you have every flavor of
Sure.
import and domestic.
That's
Video to
true.
come soon.
Wait, what?
Modelo hasn't done it yet though.
Well, Dell hasn't done it yet. I'm not sure if they're
Modelo
gonna
just
do it.
keeps it light.
Maybe
I
they are
don't
gonna
think they
do it.
will. I don't think they will. I think they're gonna stand for
Light beer and
what their
ultra light
recipe
beer.
is.
But I mean, Modelo's doing well on its own, so they know their
Yeah.
market, they know their people.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of knowing your markets and knowing your people, what do you think about this season of The Bear, huh?
I like this season actually. I feel like I
Liked it
felt
more than
like
last season.
it was a little soft. Like it wasn't
Last
like
season?
as yeah, it wasn't as tense as like the
Yeah.
last season. But there was
Well, one
definitely
thing I
tensions.
I was talking with Roxy's cousin,
Hmm.
Rob, and not Rob, Ron. What the hell am I saying? Ronnie.
Come on,
I was
Ron.
talking to Ronnie, and he was telling me like, "Hey, what did you think about the last season of The Bear?" And I was like, "Dude, trying to get me on that emotional tip, like it's and then we
Yeah.
both said at the same time, we want to see the food. We literally said it just like that at the same time. I was like, you want to see the food, man.
Yeah, it's
That's
about
what
the
it's
foodies.
about,
Yeah.
dude. It's about the food, man. And don't forget that. Do not forget that. Like feelings and stuff, cool. You always need to throw a wrench into the situation to make the storyline interesting. I
I
get
mean,
that.
not just a storyline. I mean, it is a drama and a comedy, so
Yeah,
you have to
it's a
like
dramedy.
yeah, and then you have to remember like they dealt with a tragedy, and they're also going through things that their journeys need to turn into a certain situation. Because with this time around, like Carmichael's still trying to figure things out, and he's really thinking, contemplating about like having to get out of the game just so he can like figure himself out because what he's just been doing, he's just like been so ambitious and busy and just like tenacious to the point where
Hard on himself.
he forgot to visit his niece. Like he forgot to go see Sugar's baby, and he's just like he's in a completely different world, and then like he does say like, well, he does give his reason. He's just like, I've been doing this for a while, and then I haven't had time to figure out me, and
Yeah.
that's that's growth right there, because you get to figure out like, hey, you need to like figure yourself out,
Right.
because
But growth at
you
what cost?
at the cost of like
Not
doing
seeing
what
his
he
niece.
need, yeah, not seeing his
You know.
knees and just him being the best
Hey,
at what he can.
I feel like we've all kind of been there though, and that's
Yeah,
just true to the human story. Is like when you want to improve yourself, you can't keep doing the same things you're doing. Obviously,
yeah, you need to step back and
and
really look at
you need
it.
to step back and I feel like that was kind of what he was doing last season, but man, the way he treated that one girl, Claire Bear,
Claire,
whew,
oh
that
my
was just
gosh.
like, dude, have some, sensibility with what you're doing. It's kind of like
I
he
mean,
was he was
you got a
kind of
bunch of,
just,
yeah, I mean, like he went to school to one of the most prestigious and most like, I guess I would say like abusive uh ways of like educating on someone, because
yeah,
the last season he was dealing with the trauma of like that guy that told him he was never good enough, to the point
yeah,
where he just wanted to be the best, to the point where like it kind of like
kind of like how what coaches do to athletes.
in a way, yeah, and then it kind of like lost sympathy for like other people, and he didn't know how to deal with that, and everything just came out of the sperm when he was stuck in that fucking freezer. And
Yeah,
there's a lot of things he didn't mean to say, and you really do believe that, and a lot of things that he felt like he was holding back, and all that shit just came out like fucking, I don't know, mouth diarrhea. It just came out all at
yeah.
once.
And they brought it up this season too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there's not a freezer you can just go into. And talking about change and growth, I mean that character,
Sorry, allergies.
cousin,
Cousin.
that yeah, he really pulled it off this season. He's becoming more of an important character. I think, you know, Richie's character, I mean, just for that actor alone, opened so many doors for him.
Yeah.
Just the way he was able to present himself a certain way, and then now you've seen a full 360 within these seasons. And honestly, like for me, his story is more compelling than Carmi's.
Yeah.
Because he's dealing with some real shit. He called himself the sand
The
that connects the
sand that
rocks.
connects the
The
rocks.
sand, dog. And that, like, stepping back, like, that's really that's how you should step back.
Yeah.
It was like the kind of balance of like Carmi's doing it this way, and then Richie's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and
Is he?
well, I mean, I feel like, that's a good comparison because I feel emotionally, maybe now he is a little bit better than Carmi is.
Yeah, a little bit more
Business
emotionally
wise,
mature.
or,
Yeah.
restaurant wise, obviously Carmi's got the talent. Carmi's got the skill because he's locked it down so much that he lost sense of reality in some kind of sense where he was just fully engulfed in his craft, and you have to be that way to kind of move it forward. For me, the real MVP of this episode though was Ibrahim.
This season, you mean?
Yeah, this season.
Wait,
Yeah,
who
this
was it?
season.
Sorry.
Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Ibrahim.
He
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like the main guy for, the original beef. And then, he was dealing with all this stuff with Rob Reiner's character when he came into the picture, where he was just like selling him the idea that this could be a franchise, and you could be the head of everything if you really wanted to. And he was just like, and he seems like a very humble guy that he would just have to consider that shit. And he's also seeing like, yes, this is an opportunity here, because he believes in opportunity. He said it so many times. He's like,
Right.
I believe in opportunity, and then he really sees that with, him being the head of everyone, and
Mhm.
everyone respects him, and he's like a very
Yeah,
noble
because
character.
he's humble, he's noble.
Yeah.
But what I think really takes the cake on this one is he, out of everyone else that he's been working with, you know, said to himself, I don't know enough and I need help. And asking for help was the wisest decision that he could have made, because now he's going to be rolling in it with all the other guys that are doing the beef window.
Yeah.
Um, and what a riot those guys are! I fucking love those guys.
Yeah.
They're
They're fucking
the
wild.
just camaraderie between them is fucking awesome. I love that shit, because that's what, like, if you're a working class, you're in the office or whatever. You know, I have camaraderie like that with my coworkers sometimes. Where you're just fucking around, and you know, and that's cool. I really like that. Yeah, I mean, another good character, obviously Sydney's character went
Hmm.
through her own thing with her dad, and man, that one hit home for me, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, dude,
like
that was
after moving
scary.
out,
Yeah,
I
that was
definitely
scary. I was just like,
it's
oh my god, no. Because I mean, we all worried about our parents, and then for something like
right.
that, all of a sudden happens, and you're just like knee deeps in your job. You're just like, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. And then she's also dealing
You
with,
got to flip
yeah,
everything.
and then she's also dealing with like that other offer that she was considering with the guy. And I mean, like, it
Yeah.
kind of seemed obvious, like she wasn't gonna take the job because uh, I think, what was that one episode? I forgot which episode it was, but it was the episode where
Oh,
she was like
can we
with her
can we go into
cousin.
top twos?
With her cousin.
Because
Yeah, I
that was gonna be
guess.
one of my moments.
Yeah, I guess if we're gonna head into that, I think we
Don't
should.
worry, we'll trickle in more of what's going on
Yeah, I
with
was
the
just throwing
whole
an
story.
example, if anything.
Yeah,
Like with that episode,
but
I think she wrote that. Ayo wrote
oh
that.
really?
Yeah, I believe she did. And it makes sense because it really went into like the culture, with her being black, and then the way she was doing her hair, and she's not trying to explain that to like the guy and shit like that. And
Bro,
she was just like like going over to her cousin's house, and then she's explaining things to like her little cousin,
uh,
and the way that she's like explaining her situation at her job, and then the way
right.
like her little cousin's like interpreting like, oh, like it sounds like uh you're doing this or da 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 da. And then it's just like, and it really does bring context into like what she's thinking, because in that way,
Well,
like, she doesn't want to leave the bear, because
right.
like she's gonna miss the chaos. With this
Yeah.
other thing, it's just like it seems a little too good to be true, and it's like maybe more peaceful, but it's like, do you really want that? Like, or do you want
Yeah.
like what you have
The whole
and
pizza party thing,
the whole thing?
right?
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, uh, like, I get it, like, I don't know, something about the chaos, and you're used to that, and it's
Okay.
just like,
I'll kind of spoil this one,
yeah,
this situation, because if you don't know the context, it's kind of like it's kind of been floating in air. But basically, what happens is in this episode, Sydney goes over to get her hair done by like her cousin, right?
yeah, it's a cousin.
Something like that. And she's doing her hair. Obviously, to braid hair, it takes a real long time. We know this because of our friend Breland. He like takes hours to do his hair.
Yeah,
But
he
basically,
told me that
she's
too.
over there getting her hair done. She runs out of rubber bands or something like that. Has to go to the store, and just totally pulls like
The
an
babysitter
emergency
thing. Yeah.
babysitter thing on
We
her,
have
and
experience on that.
yeah, she's watching over the kid, and like she goes in, like comes back with a bunch of air like Jordans and all kinds of crazy shit. And she's like, "What the fuck? Like, okay, you just pulled like a baby. Like, I'm a babysitter right now." But basically, like in that episode, she's with the her niece, right? And you know, they go out to the store. She's hungry. She doesn't know how to cook or anything like that. So she's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna cook you some food." You know, like what a better way to, you know, she takes her and shows her a life lesson in a way, because this is how you feed yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go in the store, getting ingredients, hamburger helper. You know, had her help along with it, and it's like a real simple meal, but if you make it right, it's delicious. That's the whole thing about it, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can cook ratatouille. Anyways, um, it's really it's this real dynamic about like young adulthood and being a kid,
Yeah.
and how those two, even though they're so different, you know, there's parallels. And reflecting on those parallels, you know, and it rings true to being an adult now, is sometimes kids have wisdom, and it's
They
just
could pick up on
because
things. Yeah.
they no, it's not that, but their view of the world is simpler, because
Right.
we're adults, we've been through everything, what yada yada yada, like every situation is a lot more complex. You think of it in a lot of different angles, but when you're younger, you just think about it like, whoa, this is me, like this is me
Yeah.
learning,
It's
so
one-sided.
if
Yeah, it's just like
it's kind of selfish, but it's
not
true.
selfish. It's more like it's self-contained. They don't mean to be
There we
selfish.
go.
It's
Yeah.
just like they haven't matured to the point where it's like, okay, um, they understand it from one part, and then when you grow older, you understand it in a different way. It's just like, oh, like it's just
Yeah.
I. It's a little. It's a little tricky to explain, but like
No, I mean, I get you. It's just
yeah,
like the
but I think you
situation that
understand.
was
Yeah.
going on was the niece was, they're splitting off to different schools. They're going to middle school, and a group of the friends is going to one school and she's going to a different school.
Hmm.
And because they're still a group of friends, they're having a sleepover, what yada 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 for,
Right. It was parallels. Yeah.
the new thing. So they were inviting her to go, but only after she had overheard them, and she explained that to Ao's character,
Yeah.
and was like, "Oh wow!" So like Ao went and gave her her point of view and her advice about like just kind of let it go, like kind of just go with the flow and just see what happens.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, you just come back, whatever, which is awesome. But giving that advice to kids is to be someone to give advice like that. It's a very powerful moment,
Yeah.
not only in the kid's life but like for yourself too, because you just changed the kid's life. You just changed a human being's life in a very small kind of way, but it's something they'll remember.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's definitely like an influence of going about that because I mean, you really do see like it really does seem like she hasn't been there for a while, and then her catching up and trying to be there for her cousins. Um, it's like it's pretty endearing, and also like she also is a good person that she would want to want to be there with him, and then when she's there with him, like she's there, she's there to
yeah,
talk, she's there to like know what's up
in the
like
moment.
with them, at whatever period of time they would be,
Yeah.
and yeah, there's definitely parallels with these two characters, with Ao dealing with like, oh, should I go to this other restaurant that I'm being offered? That's very parallel to like, what her niece is going through, and she's just like, I don't know if she should go
Well,
and this and that.
you explain Ao's situation
Yeah,
about the new restaurant.
yeah,
Yeah.
the new restaurant, because basically she's gonna go to like a competitor, and it seems like,
A competitor offers her a job and
yeah,
basically
it
gives her
offers her
like
the
the
job of
world
being a chef. Yeah, being a chef, and he seems like he's more put together. He's not like Carmi at all, and he's more like, how would I say this? Uh, he definitely seems
a
like
hipster.
not. It's not just a hipster. He's just like, I don't know. Like that's just a simpler way of saying it. But honestly, he's like
He's just
a
trying to
new
look at
age
it
type
like
of
a
guy.
business. He's
Yeah,
trying to make it a business. He's
it's a
more
business that I'm pretty sure he's inexperienced. He just said like, oh, this should be a good business for me.
he
Decided,
seems like
and then he has
right.
like people working for him as opposed to him, putting all the work or all his energy and all his
Yeah.
whatever onto it to make it the best he can. But he's like, no, he trusts the people that he's around with, and he seems
Right.
like more like, okay, it's a little bit more organized.
You just said the difference right there.
Yeah,
That dude has complete trust in Sydney to do whatever she wants. He's a seasoned chef. He knows the business, but he's not as artistically forward as Carmi is at the Bear.
yeah,
He has a more laid back style of, like you said, like trusting the people to take over and do what they want with it because he trusts them as chefs. He basically tells Sydney like, we're gonna have a brick oven, we want to do pizzas, we want to do this, but you get final say on whatever goes on the menu. So that's total creative freedom, which as an artist, her trying to start out looks very freaking appealing because you're now you're in charge of a whole thing. Your credibility and your career is going to change from that point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she still has the opportunity to make something even greater of what her career already is at the Bear.
Yeah.
She's already getting trust from Carmi. He's slowly giving her more trust, and I feel like in this season, you see that he was like, okay, done, and then she's like, did we just not fight about the menu for the first time?
Right.
And it was like, yeah, and then because he's like, so involved with himself right now, he's like giving her trust.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and it looks like she's gonna be the head of the Bear now. So it's like
Yeah,
you were gonna have a lead on this one, but at the end of it, you stayed with the Bear, and basically, yeah, you just became the lead for that. So it just uh, good things came out of it, and it was just like a
yeah,
really good a really good choice, if anything, especially after like what he told the guy, like, oh, I think I'm gonna stay. And then he automatically turns ugly, like, oh, you're doing a big mistake. You're being fucking stupid, this and that. And it's just like, oh, never mind. Never mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? A big character that, well, to me, I thought it was a character that was thrown into this season was the timer, right?
I feel like time has always been a thing because every second counts has been prominent
Right.
since like season 2. But the timer definitely is like a it
That's what
basically
ups the
turns,
ante.
yeah, it's basically like the obstacle that they have to go over to. Like it's definitely like something that's been like weighing over them for like the entirety of the season. And it's just like,
Mhm.
damn, it's almost like a doomsday clock
A doomsday clock,
for
yeah.
all of them.
For all of them, it picks up the season and the bear to a new level of intensity, but at the same time, you get characters like Ibrahim that are thinking outside of the box, pulling maneuvers like getting the robots to go and deliver food for them and stuff like
Right.
that. So I thought that was really cool. I like the character too that was thrown in. The dude, the business guy. What was his name?
The business guy. Um,
Yeah,
he was talking to Ibrahim.
yeah,
Uh, I just know his real name is Rob Reiner. He's a director. He's like a big actor. He's the dad from Wolf of Wall Street.
right,
Yeah.
right.
He had this
Oh,
certain
that's right.
thing
He
where
is.
if he got really mad over the phone, he'll just start throwing an English accent out of nowhere. Oh, you having a fine day, sir?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was good, man. He was really
Yeah. I was
straightforward with
surprised.
them,
I
but
was
it's
like,
like,
damn, they got Rob Reiner on this? That's cool, dude.
yeah, that was really cool. I like that shit, and he it was cool to
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
kind of
Sorry.
see him, be like a character that's thrown in, but immediately just like is in rhythm with everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And it was interesting when he got that in conversation with like computer, because it was just like he was
Yeah,
just asking him questions and stuff like that, and he's just
he
like, oh,
understood him, but computer
yeah.
respected him.
I
He
felt
literally
like they
said, "I
say eye to
respect that."
eye. Yeah, like they know,
Yeah,
like, okay, I see.
you get the business guy and the computer on the same page, bro. You're gonna make some monies. That's what that's
Yeah,
about.
bro.
That's what I liked about that. That was a cool little meet up and greet. Jamie
Speaking,
Curtis's character
yeah.
too was another one that was kind of like,
Oof.
whoa.
When she walked into the wedding, I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was like on edge,
Yeah, it's already on
on
edge, and
edge.
then for Dee Dee to come, that's her character's name. She just like came, and and then I think it was Sarah Paulson, or what's her name? Yeah, Sarah Paulson's character. She just saw her,
Hmm.
and she's all like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, I think the most well, for me, the most interesting thing was like, again, another new character that came into the mix was what's her name?
Libram.
Yeah, Brie Larson's character. She came
Oh
in,
yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
and she came in as like the like she used to be best friends with Sugar, and then something
Yeah,
happened and they fell out, and they was just like, she's at the wedding and she's like, oh fuck, and I don't know, I was surprised by her, like her actress and then the character itself. It's just like, yeah, there's definitely there was definitely tension
There's
there,
history.
and it was funny to watch, just them. It was funny to watch them like hate each other, but at the same time, they were always together. Like in
Uh
every
huh.
situation that they were in, they were just always together, and it's just like, wait, don't you hate this person? Like, why are you? Like they were just fighting the whole time.
I think that just speaks true to like Italian culture, maybe. You know.
It ties into like, I don't know. There's something obviously there and shit like that. Um, Wait, am I
So
crazy or did they say they slept with each other?
I think they might have hooked up, but that could be
Yeah,
like,
because one of the guys mentioned that, and they said like no, and then they just look at each other like it was kind of obvious that they did, and it
yeah,
was just like I don't know. That shit was so random that I was just like, I did I hear that right?
yeah. It was just like a split second, and then it went on. You know, it kept going.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at
What?
now. It says the top rated episodes on IMDb, but yeah, these are of season 4. One of my favorites was Tanado.
Tornado.
Tanado, which is the moment where Carmi visits his mom. Right,
Yeah.
he visits Dee Dee
Yeah, that was sweet.
and goes in there, and I mean, talking about that character, like, dude, she was basically confessing to him, like, I know I've been a bad person, and stuff, blah 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 blah, and just meets him at a human
Hmm.
level where she can kind of accept and talk to him in a way that wasn't like she was before. And
Right.
she actually stopped drinking. She went to the wedding and she like was not drinking, and everybody was surprised. And that's
Yeah.
cool,
That's
and it's
growth.
crazy because talking about parallels but in real life, Jamie Curtis actually abstains now
Yeah.
from alcohol. So
Oh
that,
yeah.
and but she talked about her being like literally
Sorry.
stepping away from a family tradition in that aspect, a family kind of burden that you take on and breaking that cycle,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
she did that,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's cool.
it's crazy because she's like I don't want to call her a nepo baby, but she does come from a family of like famous actors. Like she's
Yeah.
uh Tony Curtis, yeah, Tony Curtis is her dad, and then her mom. I can't remember. Was her mom? She was the actress from Psycho. I can't remember, but
Psycho.
yeah, or I think I'm just thinking of someone else, if anything. But yeah, it's really interesting to for her to like say that and then actually apply that to this character and like Jamie Lee Curtis, like she's been kicking ass, like she's been getting all these roles, and for her to be in The Bear is just like it's awesome. When we first seen her like in season 2, we were just like, dude, what?
Yeah, she's really cool in it, and I mean, for what she's making it about and drawing those parallels to real life, it just makes it ring true to all kinds of shit for real people,
Yeah,
and I
it
think
sort of is.
that
Yeah,
that episode was dope because you see Carmi for the first time cook
for her
a
mom.
dish from
Yeah.
the laundry
Huh?
for his mom, like
Yeah.
right there on the spot.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
So that was
nice, if
cool,
anything. Yeah. And then Carmi's also like he doesn't want. He's reluctant to be there, but at the same time, he finds the strength to be there because he know it's gonna get all sentimental, and then it's just certain things that don't need to be said according to Carmi, and
Yeah,
everything just like, sorry, everything just like falls into like it's definitely sentimental, but it's like sweet. I would say like this
right.
entire season, it's been sweet. There's been like a lot of sweet moments. Um, I kind of want to talk about my top two moments, if anything, because
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Before you do, I'm gonna crack open. This is a non-alc, kind of
Okay.
going out of order here, but this is a Samuel Adams, just the haze, just
Just
the
the haze.
haze, just the haze IPAs.
Non-alcoholic.
Hazy, juicy, refreshing, non-alcoholic. Does it have that little symbol? Let's see. Doesn't have that little symbol, but it does have something to read on the back. It says, "With this Samuel Adams non-alc brew, we remove the alcohol slowly and gently, leaving all the rich flavor of the world-class IPA. It's hazy, hoppy, and brewed with pride and attention to detail." Cheers. That's cool. I don't see the symbol on it, but
You trust that it's a non-alcoholic.
no, it does. It is a
It
non-alcoholic,
is.
but I'm trying to see if everyone's trying to follow suit with the non-alc. But that's me might be a Sierra Nevada thing. But let's hear your top two, man.
I would say my first one will have to be.
Whoa.
Whoa, that's a big old head.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think the first one would be like at the wedding episode when
Mm-hmm.
everyone was just like going under the table because Richie's daughter, she's like nervous because she's like she doesn't want to dance because I don't know, she has some fear of it, and then everyone's like it starts out little where it's just like, oh, like we're just gonna go under the table to go talk to her because yeah, we don't want to be out there, and it's sort
Oh,
of
that
like a
moment.
sweet
Yeah.
moment, and then eventually everyone that we know from the show just goes down there, and everyone talks about their fears and shit like that, and I would say like everyone's fear was pretty valid as far as I know,
Yeah.
and then uh, it was funny because Claire Bear and then Carmi were looking at each other and they were like, "Oh, what are you gonna say?" Like, I thought you were, no, he already said what he was afraid of, and then she looked at him and was like, "I thought you were gonna say you were afraid of refrigerators or freezers," and then it was just like, okay,
Call back.
yeah, it's a callback, but it's also like they could now laugh about it in some
What was
sense.
cool in that moment was when they took the selfie in there,
Yeah,
and then you see it later on and shit. That was pretty cool. That was a cool moment.
yeah, it was super sweet. It's just like, oh, everyone's doing that just for
Yeah.
the little kid and stuff like that. Like again, this season's full of like sweet moments here and there
With kids, with the kid.
with the kids.
Um, my one of my favorite moments was, well, it's at the end. It's the last episode, but it's kind of like a funny break in between it, and it's actually something that the camera pulls off. I noticed that. I
Right.
rewatched it just because I liked. I was like, how did they make that work?
That's a
That was so
good.
cool.
Yeah.
So basically, they're all talking about the future of the restaurant, blah blah blah. Carmi's out there. They're all stressed out. Ao's stressed out. She learns about what's going on with the restaurant, and she's smoking a cigarette. And she's like,
You don't know how to smoke a cigarette.
"You don't know how to smoke a cigarette." She's like, "Oh, who cares right now?" And then she goes to smoke the cigarette, and then you see her. She starts coughing it up, but the camera pulls away like she's cool. And then like as soon as she starts coughing, the camera goes back on her. You know, it was just a funny moment. I
Yeah.
don't know. I really like the way they pull that comedy off. In that
Yeah.
specific scene because it was a technically serious scene, but they just like broke the ice with that little
It
moment right
is.
there.
If
Just
anything,
Sydney trying to be cool.
yeah. If anything, that whole bit it felt like a play. Because
Mm-hmm.
he just stood there and they were just talking between one another, and yeah, and I don't know. It was like it was a super serious moment, but yeah, again, it does break the tensions. That really did a good job on that, if anything. Um,
I just broke the ice on this
broke the ice.
hazy
Oh man,
man.
for my second scene, I don't know, man. It's a little tough, but I mean, I guess I would say like I feel like if I say one, I know I'll remember another one that's even better.
There's a lot of good scenes in
Yeah,
this
and
in
I'm
this
just
series.
like, dude, like I don't know, like it's fuck. I should
That's
have
so
thought
crazy.
about that. Yeah.
They're individually rating each episode. So these are the episodes right now. It's
Episode
season
7 is like the
4,
longest one.
episode 1 Groundhogs, season 4, episode 2 Subis,
Subis.
Subis,
This
and
is so
then
funny, man.
Scallop,
Yeah.
and then Worms, Replicants, Sophie, Bears, Green, Tornado, and then Goodbye.
Ugh, goodbye. Goodbye. Damn.
Yeah, the Bears. So you don't have a second moment?
I'll come back to you with that one. I
Well,
just
I
need
kind
to
of did.
like.
My two was that moment in Tornado where he cooks for her, and then my second moment was probably like that scene at the end of Goodbye. But if I were to say another scene that stood out to me, it was probably when Ibrahim was talking to the business dude
Right.
and he was breaking down like what they do, and it was like, this is everything you make. He's like this is one day. Like he was like starting to put the pieces together, and like they just like started really working together, and like you could tell something good was going to come out of it. You
Right.
know, I thought that scene was really cool. um yeah. Oh, and also maybe like the cousin scene where that dude goes and he tells that girl that he loves her.
Hmm.
Yeah, like the
What's he?
wedding, at the wedding, he tells that girl that he loves her. One of the cousins, Maddie Matheson's.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was sweet. Yeah. Everything. Oh, you know
that was
what?
another sweet moment.
I like this moment too. It's funny. Um, I guess it is important to the plot since we do see it later. It's because like sugar's very sweet to people, and
Right,
he calls it like what does she call him? She calls her like
cousin.
no, my love. She always calls everyone my love.
Yeah,
And there's that scene where where Maddie's just like kind of leaning in. He's just like I have to tell you something. It's like, and then she's like sweet talking him like, oh, my love, whatever it is, like I can never be mad at you if anything. And it's just like being all sweet and like baby face. It's like, just tell me, come on, honey, just tell me. Well, I
uh-huh.
kind of told that. Um, what's her face? I invited her to the wedding. You did what? And then she's like, "What the fuck did you do that for?" And she just goes full on like
She
unhinged
like blew
on
up on
him, and it
him.
just blows up on him, and she's just like,
He's like a kid.
"Yeah, it's like sort of,
Maddie's
yeah,
good
it's
at.
like sort of like a kid, like like you have your favorite, and then he's still afraid of her, and he's just like, I'm just gonna tell her, and it blew up on his face, and you think like it wasn't gonna happen like that, but the mention of like that best friend or that friend that she was talking about
Mhm.
really gets to her. And this was like, this is the final straw, and he's just like, oh fuck, like I have to go see that bitch, like what the fuck. And
Yeah,
when you do see like the friend, Allison Brie or Brie Larson, I don't know why I
Brie
call her that.
Larson. Yeah,
Yeah, uh, they're just like you really get to see like, oh yeah, there's something there, like oh fuck, and it's like it pays off, and it's like very funny, if anything.
uh huh.
But yeah, I guess I would say like that would be my scene. I'll probably like pop up another scene that I didn't mention before,
Yeah,
but I don't know. That's just something that stood out to me. That was just like very, I don't know, very comedic and not part of the bear,
yeah.
if anything.
That was
But
good.
yeah,
It's like, and she doesn't really freak out on people like out of the blue like that. So that
no,
was cool to see her just fucking full on rage out. You
yeah. If
know.
anything, she has so much stress, even like before and after the pregnancy, that
Hmm.
that is what got to her. It's just like
Yeah.
what, like, and you
Um,
really got to see that part. Yeah,
I mean, overall, dude, I think this is a better season. It's one of my favorite seasons. I think like season 1 and 2 were cool. Season 3 was like we said, kind of like but this one really
very
kicked it back into
intense.
gear,
Yeah,
and I think they're gonna get another season after this for sure.
yeah, they are. If anything,
So hell yeah, dude. So we're gonna keep it going with them, and I don't know. I guess we'll go into second beer.
yeah, sure. I mean, I still have my other beer.
That was your second beer.
That was my second beer.
I just tried my Sam Adams. I'll just do a little review on it since I didn't really talk about it. But it's the Just the Haze IPA. It's a little warm right now, a little wonky, but
This is still
fruity,
sweet.
hazy, sweet, little buttery popcorn aftertaste at the end.
Yeah,
I don't like that,
still sweet.
but yeah. Um, Speaking of beers, Let's move into King of the Hill, man.
for sure. Mufusky,
Now this
McCluskey.
is the 14th season of King of the Hill,
Yeah,
technically.
technically going back because it ended with 13, and they came back. And
Bobby's an adult.
boy, was
Bobby's an
it,
adult,
bro.
and everybody's on his side. He's honestly like Bobby's kind of the main character in this one, even though it's Hank. I feel like it's more revolving like the changes that Bobby's made in his life and
Yeah,
kind of who he is now as who he is, Bobby Hill,
yeah,
and just being like a full on chef now, running into old. He's rooming with Joseph, so it's him and Joseph in it, and they're fucking, they're just broing out. They're just being bros, like literally just how they were when they were kids,
yeah,
just adults. So it's pretty cool to see them like make that transition.
yeah. This re
Peggy Hill and Hank Hill are retired.
Yep, they're retired now. They just came back from Saudi Arabia, or
Yeah,
how did she
making
say
the
it?
big bucks
Making the
in
big
propane.
bucks. It was funny. It was kind of funny. It came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, they actually spent time in Saudi Arabia, and it's
Yeah,
just
like they
like,
just cut that whole part of the story out.
yeah,
But they could always go back. Who knows?
they kind of did. Yeah,
Boomhauer, Bill, and Dale are all still there. R.I.P. to Dale's character, voice actor,
Johnny Hardwick,
and also John
John
Redcorn's.
Redcords is the actor for him who actually died like weeks before the season premiere, and yeah, dude, it sucked. Like
Yeah,
it was,
I mean, he got murdered, bro.
yeah, he got murdered by
That
his
shit's
neighbor.
crazy.
Good.
That's
Apparently, it was
fucking
something
wild,
out of
man.
like him, like the neighbor being like homophobic or something, and then he's just
Oh
like,
my god,
yeah, and then he just like straight up like killed him, and then,
Jonathan Joss.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. R.I.P. to that guy. But I mean,
R.I.P.
dude,
to both of them, man.
it's a this is a cool season to like leave the legacy on. Like you came back.
Yeah,
There
he
was like a
came back.
revival of it. So I mean, at least they were able to get their voice on it for this very last season that just came out. But
Yeah,
man, it was a lot of there was some new characters like the dude that played the other chef at Bobby's restaurant, the Mexican
the
dude.
Mexican
It's
guy. I
cool to
love that
throw
guy.
throw a Mexican guy in there, and
Yeah,
then there's old characters, like uh like all the ones that we named, but obviously his old crush, Connie,
Connie,
is in there.
right?
So it's like him, and then also like the jock, the Asian jock kid from the past. I forget what his name was,
Um, the guy
but
that
he's
does
the
nothing.
son. He's the son of the owner of the restaurant. So
Yes,
he's basically
they were basically like basically the Khan was like kissing up to that guy
yeah,
because he was like a much more rich Asian and a guy that's like well off, and he wanted to be friends with people. And yeah, that guy as a kid he was a dick too. Like he was just
yeah,
like he was just as smart as like Connie, but he was also like very cocky.
cocky, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh yeah, of course he would like be this type of guy, like a frat bro. You know what I mean? Like it just makes so much sense for that character to be that way.
The Mexican dude, I think his name is Emilio.
Emilio.
Emilio,
Uh,
voiced by Anthony Citric Campos.
Nice.
So he's in there too. But yeah, old characters, new characters. It got raging reviews, man. On Rotten Tomatoes, I'm looking at a score of 91%. Tomato meter. That was a popcorn meter. Tomato meter is 98.
I don't care about Rotten Tomato.
Yeah, well, it's up there. It's awesome. And
I guess.
I mean, I enjoyed watching these characters as a kid and then coming back to it and seeing the changes
Yeah.
that Bobby's made and everything like that.
Yeah,
It's like
that's what
so
I was
cool to see.
excited about. It's just like, there was just so much that happened like um after whatever season left, like this left at season 13. Honestly, like I watched the whole thing of King of the Hill like I think like 2 years ago. And then when it got to like season 13, I felt like it was like kind of drying out, and I was just like kind of over it. Like the animation got way better. Like it was like of
Hmm.
this quality. But then
Yeah.
they just like I don't know, they just like ran out of stuff and they kind of burnt out. But having it back, with time passing by, it definitely it's it makes it more interesting and also like builds a lot of like better dynamics with people. Now that
Yeah.
whether like Bobby's older or like this whole thing that happens between all the guys because like I would say my favorite thing would have to be like the intro because you got to
Yeah.
see the time passage and then you also got to
Right.
see like COVID, how it affected them.
Right.
And, being them being their characters, like it's funny. Like I think the one thing that made me laugh is like Hank went away and then it was just those three guys, and then also
Yeah.
like the new guy, who was played by Keith David. Great
Yeah.
choice. And I like how like um, Bill was the first one to get sick, and he just like left. And like in the first episode, you got um, that whole thing where like, oh, Bill hasn't left the house, and then you go in there, and he's just
You
like
just see him from the window.
400. Yeah, he's like 400 pounds heavy, and just all sad, and just be like, oh well, COVID happened, and then I just stayed in, and it's just so much easier when you have DoorDash coming to your door.
Yeah, but you know what? I also feel like he was depressed because Hank was gone.
Yeah, Hank and
You
Peggy
know,
were
so it
gone.
kind of like, yeah, Hank and Peggy, and he's like so in love with Peggy, right? So
Yeah.
that was the whole thing about that. But yeah, dude, it was funny to see him come back. I mean, them all come back, the whole company that they started in that one episode,
Hmm.
and just like it's cool to see, just the how Hank's character, he's just so in touch with American values and like what's right and what's wrong. He's just like his arrow of like what am I looking for? Jiminy Cricket, like his conscious,
Yeah, he
and
has a morality to him that's
he
still
has a good
intact.
morality to him, and like his needle always points north. He's always looking for the good stuff, and
Hmm.
he's always trying to do the right thing. So it's just him, confronting situations that we're dealing with in today's day and age. Like stuff like DoorDash, stuff like COVID, stuff with like kids looking at their phones, like that whole episode that was like that kid was trying to go to that man camp or whatever to
Yeah,
like
his
you
brother.
know
Yeah,
yeah, so his younger brother, and he was like, oh, we'll pay for you to go to this, and then after it, he's just like they're teaching him how to basically talk down women and just be misogynistic and stuff like that.
yeah. It's like
And
like he thought he was going into something that's like, oh, this is very masculine, but then it turns out to be like toxic masculinity. That's like,
yeah,
yeah. I felt like the guy that was running that whole place. I felt like they were taking shots at like Andrew Tate and
that's
everyone
what
in
it
that
was at.
culture.
That's what I
Yeah,
was just gonna say.
and it was just
Everybody
funny to
that's in that self help or
yeah,
whatever,
and it was
it's
just
like,
funny to see because those guys are like, they're pretty like they're being more prominent during this time and age, and it's just like, oh, how would Hank Hill approach this? And it's
right,
just like, oh, well, obviously he has this noble morality to him that he said like, you know, yeah, it's easier to point out like all these women that rejected you and stuff like that, but it's like at the end of the day, like you just have to get out there and like if they say no, or they say whatever, like just let it be.
move on
Like you
with
don't
their
have to
life.
like
Yeah,
yeah, you don't have to talk them down. You're not weak if you're just like their friend, or if you're
yeah,
getting friend zoned, then it's just like oh, then that's just what it is. Then you could just you know
yeah,
find someone that will connect to you and be the love of your life. And this
yeah.
guy's like, and Hank's the only one that's married, and he's just like a bunch of young guys that are just like
Single
wanting to
guys
find
that are just
guidance.
right,
Yeah,
and they're getting it from this character that, I mean, his whole business. At the end of it, you find out that
it's his mom.
spoiler alert, it's
Yeah,
his mom that funded it, the whole thing and stuff. I
yeah.
wonder if his mom actually funds Andrew Tate stuff. That'd be funny if that was
I
a
think
real
yeah, I
thing.
think there
But
was a shot at that. If anything, so like yeah, this
that's
guy's
kind of
like all
funny.
manly, but at the end of
That's
the
kind
day,
of
it's a
funny to
woman
me.
that's supporting him. Either way,
So it's true to say on that. I like that whole episode with the Boars thing. I mean, what do you think about going into top twos?
um, yeah, sure. I mean, is there anything that stood out to you? Like,
about this whole season.
Yeah.
Man, what stood out to me the most was, well, for me, the parallel that is, taking care of your parents, right? So, like,
Right.
Bobby is now, because his parents are retired, having to take care of his parents. So you kind of see him and just kind of how he is. Another thing that kind of the bear deals with, right?
Mhm.
Carmi's character, and it's taking care of your parents. So it's like another side of that parallel, kind of was involved with this series, and a big plot of what was going on was him taking care of his parents, and just being there and trying to connect with his parents, and like, even though his dad was like that episode where he goes in and visits a restaurant and he finds out he wasn't using propane for his grills,
Right.
but at the end of the episode, Hank comes around and he actually learns some. So that was cool to see, Hank is still capable of taking lessons himself, even though he's a seasoned guy,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
personal growth and everything. Um,
Yeah.
I would say like one thing that I noticed was that Bobby, as he is at his age, you really get to see like both sides of his
Who is he?
parents now that he's
Yeah.
like grown as adult. Like one of the things that stood out to me was like Bobby has like he has work ethics that are like so good, you know, because we
Right.
do see him in the first episode, and then they invite him to like a frat party, and this fool has to like you know close the restaurant,
Clean up.
and then he saw the bunch of dishes, and he's like, I'll take care of it later, and then he just has that look, and he's like, nah, like I want to take care of it now.
I gotta do it right now.
Yeah, like he just has that thing that's just like very how Hank would do things, like when he
Yeah.
worked at
It's instilled in him.
yeah, it's like Hank wouldn't do that, when he worked for like propane accessories, like he will leave things the inventory all nice and just do his own thing, like don't leave your work undone and stuff like that. And also like when he got to the party, he still had like he's like his kits, like he had like a spare something, like I forgot what it was. He had like a spare spatula, and then he had like sauce and stuff like that. So he was always prepared out of any situation where he needed to cook. And I was just like, damn, that's like Barry Hank Hill coming out of
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's also like that side of Peggy, because Peggy's kind of like um, unaware of stuff and just very like I don't know, just like I don't want to say aloof, but like I don't know, like she's just like um like I said, like just very unaware of certain things where it's pretty obvious to us. We're like, yeah, you're not as good as you think, and she gets a little cocky,
Yeah.
and you kind of pick up on that. Like, Bobby as an adult, he struggles to navigate with like women, or just being in the dating scene, and also like him still being in love with Connie and stuff like that.
Right.
And then the whole thing with the text, and he's just like, I would
What should
be
I text?
honored. And then he's like, what? Just say you're down. Like, he just makes it more, he overthinks it, I would
Yeah.
say. And he's just like very unaware of certain things where it's like, it has to like be said to him. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Like when he slept with
Yeah.
like that one girl, he was just like, oh, this is a one time thing. You know that, right? It's like, yeah, I know that. And he's just like,
I think
very
I know
Bobby
that.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
even though he's like, oh, you like wanted to cook for her and everything like that.
yeah. But I think that's his
But
character. He's just like a really sweet guy, you know?
yeah, but it's funny because he met that girl in the back of the alley when she was like
Oh, that
stealing
girl.
like
Yeah.
fat from the back of the like
The
grease
restaurant.
trap or whatever.
Yeah. He wanted to
And he's
get that
like, "You have
fat.
a very excellent choice in fats, sir." He's like, "Why, thank you."
Right. Thank
And it
you.
was just like a weird, funny way to kick it off. And it's funny that it still has that quirkiness and humor that you saw previous.
hmm
So I mean, it's fun, dude. I mean, I can't wait for the next season. I'm glad that it's coming out on Hulu because you could just binge all of it and just keep watching episodes if you want,
Yeah.
if you have the time to do it. Especially during the summer. But yeah, man. Um, I don't know. One of my favorite scenes for sure was when they're going out to in the boar episode when they do like the hunting group and they go out to like the plain or wherever they're at, and it's like an actual thing. Like hunting boars is like a real thing that they do in Texas. They go out and hunt boars and stuff like that
Right.
to keep the population down. And you just see like all of the guys in the truck, Bill, Boomhauer, and Dale, all like going in the truck like woo. They're like chasing down boars and like shooting them down,
Yeah, that
and
was such a good.
you
Yeah.
just see like he's like you could probably catch 50 pigs with like a certain trap. So like Hank goes and like, you see him basically pitching a tent. He's just like trying to put a trap, and you just see all the guys in the background just like going all crazy, like going and chasing after boars and shooting them down and stuff. And you just see like Hank all quiet, just like watching them right off, you know.
Yeah,
But at the end of it,
because he couldn't shoot.
he ended up catching a bunch of boars.
Yeah, at the end of
He
the
caught way more than the other guys did.
yeah, at the end of it, like I think it's true of every episode where all his friends and his family make like foolish decisions. That at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
he's like right about things. But I like it. I like how with this one, because this episode was like about investing,
Yeah,
and he was just like he was the only one that was reasonable about it, and everyone was just so uh, overexcited
yeah,
to the point that they couldn't see like, oh, well, how are they actually like gonna make money if you haven't even started? You haven't started like capturing or killing boars, and
yeah.
you get to see Hank like maybe I'm wrong, and at the end of it, he was right about it, and he should have stood his ground. And it's just like, oh yeah, that's like,
No, he ended up buying it at the
yeah, he
very
does.
end.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He ended up buying it, but he was right. He was right not to buy it, but he just gave
Hmm.
in because everyone
At the
was
beginning,
buying.
he
Yeah,
gave in with the crowd, but
yeah,
luckily, Peggy took Hank's mindset and pulled out her money like while it was big because she realized what Hank did at the beginning. Like we don't know what we're doing. Like this is barely starting off and it's becoming too much. So
really?
she took her money out.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
she took her money out. She
Huh.
explains that at the end. So that's why at the end they still ended up having money, but she has a larger share now because she grew it in like the stocks
Yeah,
for the board
that's
company.
smart.
That was an interesting episode,
Yeah, it
man.
was.
That was really interesting because you don't really see them, like it's like what do you do after retirement to like keep your money going and stuff like that? You got to
Yeah, it's another
reinvest,
thing too. Like every day was like, well, every episode was like, oh, what else are they gonna do?
Hmm.
Which brings me to,
He's like trying to fix things around the house and stuff
yeah,
like
at
that.
6 in the morning, it's just like, all right, he's done.
Yeah.
um,
There's people like that. There's people like that
there's a
for
lot of
sure.
people like that.
Yeah.
I would
Ain't
say
nothing
one of
wrong with
my
being like that. You're just a Hank Hill of
the
America.
Hank Hill of America. Mhm. And yeah, speaking of that, like, yeah, I want to mention like one of my, I would say it's like one of my favorite episodes, the beer episode.
Mm.
And at that
Oh
moment,
yeah, of
yeah,
course, right? How could
yeah,
we not
that
talk
moment,
about
yeah,
that?
of course. How could we not talk about it? You know, because in this episode, you really get to see the generational gap between the
Yeah.
guys. And it's like, oh yeah, like craft beers has become a prominent thing. How would Hank Hill, you know, approach
Approach it.
this? And lo and behold, like yeah, obviously they're gonna have a generational gap because now beers are fruitier, and he's just
Mm.
like, I drank beer for over 30 years, and I do not need my beer to be fruity.
He's like, I've never once wanted it to be more fruity.
Fruity.
That
And
shit
I,
was good, man.
and I was just thinking about you. I was like, yeah, man, I need these fruity beers.
Hey, man. It's all about, it's the chef like Bobby. It's the Bobby approach where he's like, the beer has to tell a story. The beer has to has a lot of different notes and you can mix it with a lot of stuff. It's a lot more complex than it seems. And I
Yeah,
mean, that's the craft, baby. That's what we're talking about.
I know.
So
I like,
having a lot of mix of flavors. Obviously, some may be fruity, but other ones like I mean, now my taste has changed. Like remember, at the beginning I didn't really like sours, and now I'm like leaning. I like sours and I like box.
I don't like sours
You
at
know,
all.
dark
But I, I
lagers.
would say like they got like that craft beer episode right,
Yeah.
and there's that one part. There's that one scene where they actually go into a brewery
Uh
and
huh.
they're trying like flights of beers, and
Yeah.
it's just like so accurate. Like, oh yeah, of course, like they will use the barrel as like they'll turn it into a stool, and the guy over there, he's like sort of like a history guy, and he answers the way
Yeah.
that he answers is like, hey, can you get us a beer that's not so hard at trying to be a beer? And he looks up and he's all like, nope.
Yep.
And yeah, they
Basically.
really they really got like the brewery culture down to a T. Cause I don't know, like it was just like, oh yeah, like that's accurate. That's like it reminded me of Everywhere Brewery. That's like down in Anaheim or something like Long Beach Beer Lab. It's just
Yeah.
like the vibe is just there. Because it's like more of like you have to be super open minded. And then you have space to do fun activities, shit like that. So
It's an atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's a whole thing. It's cool to see where the sausage is made. You know what I'm saying? In that context, it's cool to be at where the professionals that are creating the beer just downstairs, like actually like testing it and making it and stuff like that. It's, I mean, when we went to Escondido, that was awesome.
yeah,
We
that
went
too.
to
That was like very
Stone
open door.
Brewery.
Yeah,
It was crazy. It was like a park, and we saw a whole business having their event there and everything like that. So it's like, it's more than just what they showed in that episode. Obviously, it's like can
yeah.
be
There's
very
different. Yeah,
commercialized or stuff like that. But I mean, that episode for me was, I mean, that's what got me into watching, like rewatching this or watching this and being excited for it, was that beer episode, because I was like, that's dope. I was hoping that it was gonna be like an ongoing arc, like throughout the
throughout
season,
the
because
season,
at the very end of it, Peggy Hill ends up mixing both beers together,
and just call it the Peggy.
and she calls it the Peggy. But I mean, like, what if that won the competition? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
maybe. Yeah,
Maybe
that whole
what?
thing with the
Maybe they're gonna come
contest.
back on
Yeah,
it.
that whole thing with the contest was pretty funny and just like so like I don't know. Just the fact that Dale got involved and everything. Okay, I would say this is funny also because the animation did it so well. It's obviously they're on both sides. They're on like opposite sides. Dale's like with Hank doing their beer, and then Bobby doing the other beer. And then when they were both like trying to like infiltrate one of the judges,
Uh huh.
they were trying to like escape or not be found out. So you have like Dale drive away, and then you see fucking Joseph just like cover himself like in a bag, and then he just
Uh
rolls
huh.
over, and then he just like hits the ground and just stood there like he was like a piece of trash. Like he
Yeah,
disguised
he like
himself there.
he disguised himself as like a trash bag.
Yeah, and he's just
That
like,
was fucking hilarious,
bro.
bro.
And I was like, damn, you can't do that in live action. The animation was so
Yeah,
on point with
it
that
was
one.
funny, man. It was a stretch and squash. It was, just small little instances, but there's people online that are saying that King of the Hill is like an anime, because people like in Japan watch it in Japanese, and then you get that experience of it sounding and looking like an anime. So people have thought of it like that, and to me, it's like the quality
Interesting.
is there, and I like how the characters are drawn. They're very human, and that's cool, Um, but one of the things I'd say, man, like, oh, another good moment talking about Dale is when he's being an exterminator, which you don't usually see
Yeah.
often. You actually don't see him like
Well,
be an
sometimes you see
exterminator.
it, and it's just like very quick. It's just like, oh,
Yeah,
spray gas here
but
and
this
there.
whole episode was like he was working with Bobby to get the rats out of the restaurant and stuff like that. And then he like tries all these different methods, and he like, what's the first rat that he releases?
It was the rat to hunt the other rat.
It was like a hunter
Yeah, it
rat.
was like a hunter rat, and then he had like a track of it, and he's all like, "Oh, he's heading to the roof," or some
Yeah,
shit. And
he's
I'm just
heading to
like,
the roof. He had a beacon on him. He's like, well, at the end of it, he ends up telling Bobby, well, the rats are basically just gone on their own. They're like around the restaurant on their own. They're scattered around. And then he's like, but I have a plan B, and this is definitely gonna work. And then Bobby's like, what? He's like, I introduce you to Sexy Rat. And it's just a rat in a cage that he just has. Like, he's like, they
it's like a
won't
girl
deny
rat.
the
Yeah,
pheromones of this. He's like, they won't deny the pheromones in this. They're gonna have to get in this cage. Don't worry, it's gonna work. He's like, so you're gonna get rid of the rats by bringing more rats? it was so good, dude. It was just like
So
peak
Peak Dale.
peak King of the Hill
Yeah.
comedy. Like it's funny as hell. So I enjoyed that scene. I love that whole episode. It was hilarious, dude. There
Yeah.
was a lot of good episodes. I mean, every episode has its own like taste of modern culture
Hmm.
and still variety from the past and kind of bringing you up to speed of where the
Yeah.
characters are now.
That yeah, that's what I was looking forward to because like this show shows like both sides of, being a conservative or being liberal. And you get to see like Hank being like, this conservative, old-timer, pragmatic type of guy that, he's stick to his own ways, and then when he gets introduced to something like new or weird, he's just
He's
like he either learns from it and he just like is okay with it. But at the end of the day, I that's not his thing, and he's just like, okay, well, I don't know. He's just like very Hank Hill about it, with for example, for this season, like there was like that new girlfriend that Bobby has,
yeah,
and he says that line where it's just like, I don't have to accept that she's weird, or he says something between the lines of that. It's just like just because
yeah,
she's weird or different doesn't mean that I have to accept it. And I was just like, oh yeah,
yeah,
And she was like the typical type of characters that he would encounter like in the earlier seasons and stuff like that, where he just saw something different. She was like vegan, she was just like free spirited, and that episode was surprising because she actually played football well, and she's like, yeah, I grew up around this, but at the end of the day, like she took a shit in the fucking guy's office, and she's just like, oh, I don't know about this girl anymore.
yeah. It was cool, but it was like such a funny contrast. It was just a King of the Hill kind of moment. But the fact that she take it to that level was just like that was kind of out of the blue. That was kind of like a weird
It was weird.
cop out, but it was funny as hell. It was funny,
What
and the
was more
moment where you see
funnier?
him open the door when he opens the door to the office, and you just see like the shadow
Yeah,
of
the
her.
shadow and then the sound. It's just like, and then they just talk
Someone's gonna
about it
tell.
like they just talk about like just the way that they came out. It's just like, damn, this is why we eat meat, so that way like you slow down the process. And when it turned
He
out like
takes it to
that,
the. Oh my god, dude, that shit was like so random, but it was weird because she kind of like it was supposed to be a Bobby and Hank moment, and
yeah,
then she kind of like invited herself, but she ended up like helping them win and stuff like that in that episode, which is I don't know. It's funny. It's a funny contrast that like you can still be that free spirited but
yeah,
be
it's
good at
like
sports.
it was a funny contrast and a subversion, and yeah, it was just something that's like, okay, this is refreshing. It was a really
Yeah,
refreshing episode, instead of like Bobby or Hank getting into her culture, she got into them, to their culture, and she turned out to be
yeah,
like kind of surprising in that sense. But I mean, I don't know. It was like a very fresh subverting episode, if anything. Um, but I don't know. There's still some things I still wonder. Like we already got like, cause we already got what happened with like, um, his like Hank's dad, Khan's like his wife and then his kid that he had. And you kind of got to see like, oh, over time, like yeah, like they got the settlement money, and then I guess they're doing okay, but the kid kind of needs like a male role model
uh,
and shit like that. And then you also got to catch up with Khan and then his wife, and then it turns out to be like, oh, they're actually like divorced. And
yeah.
yeah, and then that whole marriage was a sham, and it's just like, oh,
Well, they were
like
doing
you
the
get to see
anniversary
that,
party
and
and
they were
stuff
doing an
like that.
anniversary out of it, so it was just like it was all for looks. It was all
I
to
mean,
like
yeah,
impress their
that's
friends.
well, also to like get Connie to date that one other kid so they could kind of get married into like money or something like
Yeah,
that
and
in
it
a
was
way.
just
And it's
like, oh,
like
it's
talks
typical
about
thing.
things that humans do,
Yeah,
and but like putting a whole facade up to basically try to set up your kid, in a
yeah, it was
weird
just kind
way.
of like, just go with the flow.
Yeah,
um,
but I thought that was funny at the end of it where they after the party everyone finds out, and like Bobby ends up spilling the beans because Hank tells him like they got a divorce, and Bobby's like, oh shit, like he didn't know. And then they like put the camera on him, and he like says it out in front of the whole party, and then they're like, the whole party goes and looks at each other, the party ends, and then they go back home and stuff like that. And then like yeah, I mean they have that whole moment with like him and Connie on the lawn of the golf course, you know,
Yeah, it was like
and
really
just kind of
sweet.
talking. It was like
Yeah.
it was really cool to see them like that, like them have a moment like that again, you know.
Yeah, which is
But
something that, you're rooting for them to like, get together cuz it really seems this time around like it's would they or would they not type of situation, And it's just like, yeah,
yeah,
well, the other guy freaking I keep forgetting his name. He's sort of a dick, and then you kind of see like he's a dick, and he obviously doesn't care about like Connie's emotions and shit like that. You know,
yeah, because they have like an open relationship or whatever. But what I
yeah,
was gonna talk about was like after
it's
that
just
whole
an
scene,
excuse to get
whatever,
side dick.
and then they go just an excuse to get side dick. Just
Yeah,
kept saying that. But they go and it's like all the guys from the alley go up to Khan's place, and they're like, hey man, like you know, we just want to let you know, like we're here, you know. And they like he was like, we just wanted to give you a beer, you know. They offered him a beer, and he just like looks at them, and then he just like closes the garage door on
so
him.
caught on him.
But then right at the end, like Hank like rolls the beer underneath, you know.
Yeah,
So I thought that was a cool moment of just like him still trying to connect with them, even though like you know he closed him out.
yeah, I know. It was cool. It was a
This
sweet.
it says a lot about Hank's character, you know.
It does. It's,
And we need that in today's society, man.
we
We
do.
need that.
We do, because he's like, yeah, he's like a morally right type of guy, with sort of moral standards that, a lot of people would see like as kind of sappy or whatever. But I mean, it rings true of nobility and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I like how like this, even though they were well, obviously they were going for like modern things that are going on.
Uh huh.
Um, I'm just glad they kept it like how King of the Hill would be. Not to
Originally.
bring anything like too woke or too like conservative and make it controversial and shit like that. It was just like so
Right.
neutral, you know. And you see it in like the first episode, because they see like, oh yeah, this town has changed so much, and they're doing
Yeah.
all these laws, and then everything's like safe or cultural and appropriation and stuff like that. And by the end of that, the first episode where they were at the Megalomart, they were okay. Like there were still people of humble people in this town, And Hank was talking to the other guy, and he was just having a whole discussion about like um, construction and
Like
whatever.
a human moment, you know.
Yeah,
He was just like they got the town. It was like a moment of just I think what it was trying to talk about in that scene was just kind of the disconnect that everybody has when you go into the grocery store, when you go anywhere, you know. It's like everybody's on their phone, everybody kind of
hmm
zones out and like does like stays in their lane, you know.
yeah,
And in that episode is just like, you know, he walks up and starts a conversation, and that like starts another conversation, and all of a sudden like he created this atmosphere where everybody was comfortable to just talk to each other and
yeah,
just like be a community. And that's cool, man. Like that's what we need, man, because we like that's how people are. I the other day I was just passing by Norwalk Civic Center.
hmm
It's like the judges and stuff like that, or the courthouse, and
right.
like groups of people just like on their phones, just like. And
Pokemon
I was like,
Go.
what are they doing? Pokemon Go, dude. I was like,
Yeah, they
holy
do that every
shit, dude.
Saturday, every weekend.
Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
was like, I didn't even realize it, but it's like, it's weird because it's like everybody's on their phone doing their own thing, but it's still kind of like a community, you
yeah,
know? So I think it was just kind of a critique or a lesson on that. It's just like we need to kind of come together in that aspect, you know?
yeah. It's just beautifully said. It's a funny show with
Yeah.
commentary that has something to say, but at the end of it, it's like there's a there's a mobility to it. There's a
Yeah.
yeah. It's very noble and very like true to what they're saying. It's a good message out there to say. So it's like, yeah, it's cool overall. I love it. Yeah, I was like, man, I'm so glad
Can't
this
wait for
show's
season
back.
15.
Season 15, bro.
It's
There's
gonna be
still a lot
awesome,
of
man.
things that are still unanswered, like what happened to like Luann's kid, because
Right.
I guess they're gonna kill off the characters in some way because both of them
Oh
are
no.
dead. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right.
both those actors are dead. You know,
You don't think they'll get someone to like double, like
I don't
redo their
know.
voice?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if they would do that or if they're willing to do that, but
I think, I think I
I
read
don't know,
somewhere that
man.
he, the actor for Dale, only did up to a certain episode or something like
Yeah.
that.
What do you think about the new voice?
Oh man, I gotta say, like, I just hope it gets there. It's not fully there,
Yeah,
but because there was a lot of in like
it stood out to me a
the
lot.
way his
Yeah.
voice would fluctuate and he'd get all
Yeah.
squealy and squirmy sometimes. You're kind of missing that of him, you know.
Yeah.
So that's something that I miss. But I mean, other than that, the writing for the character is still Dale, you know,
Yeah, the writing
which
is still
he
on
gets
par.
in. He gets into Dale shit. Let's just put it like that,
Dale shit.
you know.
Dale would.
So
Exactly.
that's I mean, and Boomhauer's got a stepson now. He's
Yeah.
finally settled down. He's got a
Well,
stepson,
I
so he's
mean, he's
like,
not settled down. I mean, I think they said it's technically not his kid, but he's
yeah,
taking.
it's not his kid, but he's a stepdad.
He's a stepdad to some kid.
Yeah,
Well, I think he said it was his
he's taking him
girlfriend.
to soccer practice. Yeah, his
Yeah.
girlfriend or whatever. But I mean, he's basically like being like a stepdad. You know,
Yeah.
he's like wanted to take that kid. What did he do? It was like they wanted to teach him something or something. They wanted to have him drink beers. He
They
bought him
want him
some
to drink
non-alcoholic
non-alcoholic
beers.
beers, and
So they're
then
drinking non-alcoholic beers in
I
the
don't know.
alley.
That brought an interesting question. I was just like, is it morally right to give kids like non-alcoholic beers, even though it doesn't even like it has a little bit of alcohol, but it doesn't have like full-on alcohol? I mean, is that right?
I don't think it's right because a kid can easily get it's alcohol, bro. Like no matter
Right.
how much of a little taste is it, it's gonna do something to your brain. You know.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
mean they still ID you. They still ID you to get it.
yeah, that's true.
So that's how the government feels.
That is
There you
true.
go.
Well, at least
There you go.
I don't know. At least you won't be like as messed up as us when we started drinking.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like training yourself. You 20 non-alcoholic beers in, you're not gonna be able to drink 20 space dusts tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's just like,
That's not
oh,
gonna happen. You gotta
dude, this
build the
is
tolerance up.
heavy.
Yeah, that's the one thing about drinking non-alcoholics that I'm noticing too is when you have a real beer, you can feel it.
Hmm.
You can feel the difference like, immediately, and it's like okay. But then I just switch it back to non-alcs, and it's like kind of tricks your brain in a way, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I could tell the difference because
Yeah,
the sugar, the sweetness. So I'm just like,
yeah.
okay, sure. But
Man, I mean, all in all, Hulu's been kicking ass. These are some
mm-hmm.
great seasons and shows to watch that we mentioned earlier. Um, Man, can't wait for season 15 and season 5 of The Bear and season 15 King of the Hill. And I mean, I'm about to go watch the new Alien right now, which maybe we should do a sip on this. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. If anything,
Sip
um,
on
oh no,
this.
yes. What do you got, Manny?
Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6, I downloaded the beta. All in all, pretty freaking dope. I saw some dude on TikTok jump out of like a an airplane, like an F-15, like a really fast airplane, F-16, jumped out of it, shot one down with like a grenade or something like that. Grenade launcher shot
Yeah.
one down, and then he saw another plane, and then he shot the pilot with a regular gun. Pilot fell out of the aircraft. Aircraft is tumbling through the air. While in the air, jumps onto the airplane and takes control, bro,
Of the
and
airplane.
hijacks it.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
bro. All in a live multiplayer match.
Yeah, I saw.
You know?
Yeah, I saw a couple of things right there. I definitely saw a guy like using a missile launcher to like take down like a helicopter, and you had to be like precise about that shit.
Yeah,
I was
you have
like,
to be precise.
fuck, dude, that's cool.
My favorite thing is the vehicles, man. That like I like you could load into a
You could hang on
helicopter,
to
a
it.
tank. You could if you die and it's left on the map, you could go back to it. if it's
Oh,
not destroyed, or it respawns. Like there's like a cooldown for each thing, and I found out a hack. So like, let's say you really want the airplane, everybody's waiting for the airplane, right? There's only one that it cools down, and then it has like a long cooldown time of like 5 minutes or 2 minutes, three
oh
minutes,
shit.
something like that. So you have to like wait for it to fully cool down before you can get into it. And there's only one, so there's like 100 seconds, I believe. So like right at like 98 seconds or 97 seconds, just keep tapping A, just keep tapping A, and then you'll be able to get the
Tapping A.
plane if everybody's trying to get it.
Oh my
And then I
god.
just yeah, dude, I got the plane like twice and I crashed and died. Yeah, they're really fast and it's crazy, dude. Like the map's big. Once you get in the plane, you see how big the map is. It's fucking nuts.
Holy shit.
And yeah, you can drive like on the side of the roads and like the Humvees or whatever, like the tactical, they have a gunner on top, but this one actually has a boost. So like let's say you're driving through like an alleyway and you see a straight ahead, you can hit the boost, bro, and just like and just like fucking go real fast, real quick. And then while your gunner's like behind you and stuff like that, it's awesome, bro.
Feels like a Star Wars
Um,
ride.
but and I also heard that it was breaking people's computers.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Just
So
by the
there's a
way you're
whole thing
saying.
going on with the secure boot. There's all kinds of weird shit going on with it.
I
So
mean, it's
just
still
tread
a
lightly
beta,
if you're
so
using the beta.
yeah. Oh
If the beta comes out again, tread lightly. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be better than this one. But yeah, they did say it's breaking people's computers. So
my god.
that's the one negative thing I did hear about it. But everything else has been fucking awesome. I can't wait till the game comes out and you fully get to see all the different maps because the only one that's on there that's like a real cityscape is New York. But eventually they're gonna release Los Angeles.
Oh
That's gonna
shit.
be one of the maps. Yeah,
Nice.
that's gonna be freaking tight, bro.
Can't wait. Um,
What you got?
so I don't know if I feel like I mentioned this before, but I don't know. I don't think I did. But there's this YouTube channel I always check out, and it's it's its own niche. Like I guess I would say, but it's like pretty obscure and pretty like dark. But what I really like about it is just like the storytelling and just the way this narrator just says different stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the name of the channel is called like Nick Crowley. So it's just like one guy that's just like making documentary style of videos, and it's
Uh,
like different. Um, it's like an anthology of series of things. Whether
Nick
he has,
Crowley, eh?
yeah. I'll show you. I'll show you a clip. I'll show you one clip of that. And I swear to God, this is like the most craziest shit ever. Um, but they just tell like real life stories of like things that could be found in on the internet,
Uh huh.
or like weird stuff, or a mystery that nobody has ever found. And honestly, it's like
Cool.
very like obscure at times.
Twilight Zone.
No, it's just like they'll explain he'll explain the context of a story, and then they'll say like, oh well, this is the mystery because like nobody really knows about da 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 da. And
Uh
then
huh.
if there's a twist, like he'll just like say the twist, and and it's just like very like fuck, like this is like real life cases of like people doing stuff. Like for example, they did like they have uh, he has like different like set lists and shit like that. One of them is called like the TV's one of the darkest moments in TV history, and they show you like different like uh, clips of like TV shows, or like yeah, like TV shows or TV commercials or something from the news, and then when they bring in
Uh
the
huh.
context, like he'll tell you like the whole background of that story, and then what turned out to be later on, and it's just like oh fuck, like I'm pretty sure you heard this case where this guy he was like in Christina's court, some like court drama bullshit that's like very like uh
Yeah.
very choreographed TV shit. It's like reality TV. It's like watching like Jerry Springer or some shit.
Uh huh.
And there's a case where uh this guy was like I don't know dealing with something with his lady, and then the bailiff is like he's like pretty big and pretty like serious, and then the guy jokingly says like, "Oh, I could tell, brother, like um you're like you're not happy with like your lady, or you're having trouble, like you're not happy, and then he just gives him like a look like, oh, what, like, okay. And then they show you that clip, and then later on they show you like, oh, it
He
turns out
actually murders his
he
wife.
actually murders his fucking wife. And it was like, yeah, like at first you thought it was something jokingly, but looking back in context, it did not age well, as it turns out. Like,
Oh shit, yeah.
yeah, like shit like that, like different stories and stuff. But it's
Well, think
like,
about that moment. Think about that moment being like all across TV and the internet, and then
yeah,
you're like, oh, you're that
yeah,
one
there's a
guy. It's
lot,
like
dude. There's
it
a
gets
lot.
etched into your personality now
Yeah,
that you're not happy with your wife, and then maybe you start taking
yeah, and
on
that
the
wasn't even
fucking
the only one.
energy.
There was a guy that in Family Feud, he was just saying like, "Oh, what's the one thing you regret about like getting married?" Saying I do, honey, I love you, but and then Steve Harvey's just like, I think Steve Harvey got caught a wind of like who the guy is, and he's just like, and then it turns out he killed his wife. So
Oh, so all of these end in he kills his wife or he
that's
kills her
just one
husband or some
video,
shit.
because they,
Yeah,
I guess that was the theme for that video, but there's other like things that you might not have known, or like YouTube channels where it's just like they have a history of it. Like if you really listen to it, like,
yeah,
yeah, obviously they didn't have like a good family background or whatever situations going with like the YouTubers and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like different story cases, and then it's just like, fuck. There's one that's really crazy. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. But yeah, again, the name of the YouTube channel is Nick Crowley. Like that's my
uh-huh.
recommend, because it's really compelling stuff. Like I will warn you, like there's some stuff that is very serious, like abuse and all that, and drug abuse and
Oh,
all
that's
that shit.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's a good warning.
it is.
Nick Crowley, eh?
Yeah,
Cool, man. Well, I'll check that out. I want to check out the new Alien stuff though. Oh, I see it now. Wow, he's got a lot of videos.
yeah, dude.
3 million subscribers this guy has.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's there's a couple others like him where it's just like guys narrating, and then telling these omnibus stories about the human nature.
I do like stuff like that. I was watching this one about the Grand Canyon, how there's like a portal there and shit.
Oh
So
my
I'm getting
god,
more
yeah,
into that stuff like
stuff
that.
like that. Yeah, like conspiracy theories and stuff. But yeah,
Well, this is Golden Craftcast. It's been a pleasure. I think my favorite beer from tonight was probably the Trail Pass. That was my favorite one. This one right here. Good one from
I like
Sierra
my Pilsner.
Nevada. Pilsner's good. The Pilsner's good, but yeah, I think that one won for me tonight. I really liked it.
All
It
right,
was
for sure.
nice and little sweet, little nice nibbly, and yeah, man, can't wait to get on some new stuff. We're probably gonna do an episode like this, maybe with Netflix if Sergio watches the homework,
I don't.
and we can move forward and do something like that, man. But
Or
this is
maybe
Golden
movies.
Craftcast. You can find us at Golden Craftcast on IG, TikTok, Facebook, and on all streaming platforms. So check us out, man.
Yep.
Thanks
Follow
for
us.
listening.
All right. Thank you for listening. Hit that music. All right. This has been a good one. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. If anything, we'll come up with more content. If anything, more video game content. But other than that, you know where to follow us. All right. It's been
Oh, and
fun.
YouTube.
And YouTube. Thank you. All right.
Like, follow, subscribe.